Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Wilpon Baseball and Softball Complex for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Austin Falco, bringing you today's matchup, the third game in a three-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and the rival Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan looking for the sweep after they took the first two games of the series by scores of 6-0 and 5-2. In order to get that sweep today, Michigan will be looking for a good outing out of their starting pitcher, Michael Hendrickson. Hendrickson, the junior left-hander, currently making his 12th start of the year, sits at 5-1 with a .450 ERA in 52 innings of work. He struck out 46, walked 22, and batters hit .244 when they step up to the plate against him. The Ohio State lineup he'll face today, the third different lineup combination we've seen in the series. We'll lead off with the center fielder, Trey Gant. Batting second will be the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Batting third, playing right, is the freshman phenom, Dominic Canzone. At third base, batting fourth, is Brady Cherry. The designated hitter today is Zach Ratcliffe, batting fifth. Batting sixth and playing first base is Bo Coolin. Tyler Cowles gets the start in left field. He bats seventh. Jacob Barnwell, the catcher, bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup in the 9 spot will be the second baseman, Noah West. Hendrickson, last time out, was in Piscataway a week ago. Was able to go 6 innings, only gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. Struck out 6 and walked 3. He turned it over to Will Tribuker then, who pitched a perfect 3 innings of work. 2 combining for a only allowed 4 hits against the Rutgers offense. And it will be Hendrickson starting things off here today against the center fielder, Trey Gant. Gant, yesterday coming off an 0 for 5 ball game rather. And the day before, only 1 for 4, 1 for 9 on the series overall. Looking to switch that up here. He's got to face the lefty in Hendrickson, a lefty-lefty matchup to start the ball game today. Got a little bit of stalling here to go. Here's we're looking over at the Michigan side, waiting for the TV cameras to get ready. And looks like we got the all good, so we are ready for some baseball here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Gant steps in there, and the first pitch from Michael Hendrickson misses low and in for ball 1. Today's first pitch at 4:03 p.m. It is 54 and sunny here in Ann Arbor. The second pitch from Hendrickson misses well wide for ball 2. Hendrickson, the 6'3" junior out of Saline, Michigan, right down the road. His third pitch of the at-bat to Gant is in there for a strike, 2-1. Hendrickson gets his sign quickly now. The 2-1 pitch to Gant. Bounced up the middle. It'll be Kerr ranging over towards the bag of Berdard. Cuts him off. Throws over to first. A strong throw near the dirt. Dug out there by Bivens just in time to get the speedy center fielder Gant for out number 1. Berdard basically ran over to the second base position on that one. He was shaded towards that right side of the field. Michigan's been playing Gant to pull for most of the weekend. So we'll be out number 1 on the 6-3 putout to start the ball game. That'll bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington, similar to Gant, not having a whole lot of success against Michigan pitching. This time he hits one into left field, though, for a base hit. It's going to get to the wall. Lewis picks it up, fires a strong throw into second, but it's not going to be in time as Washington slides in with the double. Ohio State has their first hit, first base runner here with 1 out in the top of the first in the form of Jalen Washington. He'll be on second, and that'll bring up the dangerous right fielder for Ohio State, Dominic Canzone. Canzone, not a whole lot of pop in the bat. Only 8 extra base hits this season. But he is batting .364 and currently on a 12-game hitting streak. During those 12 games, he's batting a cool .478. Absolutely on a tear right now is Canzone. Ohio State look to take on the first run of the ball game here with him at the plate and a runner in scoring position in the form of Jalen Washington. After a spin around back to second, try to keep Washington close out there. Hendrickson is ready, and the first pitch of the at-bat misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Washington out there on second, 11 stolen bases on the season and 15 attempts, so he is a threat to steal. Henderson will be keeping an eye on him here throughout this at-bat. Hendrickson comes set now, the 1-0 pitch. Misses just off the plate away here for ball 2. Staying away from Canzone so far in the at-bat. Michigan Fielders playing him slightly to pole here with Berdar set up right behind the runner at second, Washington. Kerr a step into the outfield grass, or what would be the outfield grass. The third pitch of the at-bat here is in there for a strike at the knees, right over the middle of the plate. So count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike on the freshman left-hander. Canzone only stands at 5'11", 185, not an overwhelmingly menacing presence in that left-handed batter's box, but has the numbers to make a pitcher worried. As Hendrickson spins back towards second, chases Washington back to the bag once again. Holds that glove near his right shoulder, hangs his pitching arm down by his side. When he gets his sign, comes set right about near the shoulders. After a brief time call, he gets his sign here on the 2-1 pitch with Washington stealing. The throw from Wentz and double clutch on that one, and it's not going to be in time. So Washington swipes his 12th bag of the season. He'll be on third now with only 1 out in the inning. Canzone swung at that pitch. It was strike 2, so the count 2-2. So Canzone has an affinity for getting base hits. Doesn't have to do so here in order to drive the run in, as that one misses low and away for ball 3. Count is full. Looking to drive in his 26th run of the year is Canzone. 3-2 pitch. Grounded towards second. Kerr makes a sliding stop and fires over to first after looking the runner back at third for out number 2. Nice play made there by Jimmy Kerr at second. Ranging a bit towards that second base bag, went down to a knee to snag it on the backhand. And it was hit hard enough where Washington had to wait to see what Kerr was going to do. After looking the runner back, Kerr fired over to first to record the easy out. And now with 2 gone and a runner on third, that'll bring up Brady Cherry, the third baseman. Mentioned Kerr at second. Still filling in for the injured Akeo Thomas. The first pitch here to Cherry is fouled back to the screen. Count 0-1. The rest of the Wolverine defense looks like this. And left to right in the outfield, it's Miles Lewis, Johnny Slater, and Jonathan Engelman. Over on the left side is the normal mainstays, Drew Lugbauer and Michael Berdar. As I mentioned, Kerr's at second, Bivens at first, and Wenson behind the dish for Hendrickson. And a good breaking ball there from Hendrickson. Catches Brady's Cherry looking for strike 2. Hendrickson now in control of the count, looking to get out of the inning here without allowing a run despite the 1-out double. The pitch here just got a piece of it, did Cherry. He fouls it. Looked like off of Wenson, then back to the screen. Wenson's fine as he throws the ball back to Hendrickson. The count will remain 0-2. Cherry holds a .248 batting average on the season. But over the last couple of games here at Ray Fisher Stadium, he's 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts. Looking to avoid one here, down on the count 0-2. Breaking ball doesn't break quite enough. Hendrickson was ready to walk off the mound, but it didn't quite get back to that outside corner. The count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wenson flashes the sign out to Hendrickson. The pitch now, another breaking ball, swing and a miss for strike 3. Henderson records his first strikeout of the game and gets out of the inning, not allowing a run, despite that one-out double. After one half inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium, we're still scoreless, Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And looking to match the scoreless frame just put up by Michael Hendrickson will be junior right-hander Seth Kinker for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Kinker is actually the closer for Ohio State, but has recently been being stretched out. Ohio State not having a ton of success so far this season. The record sits at 17-29, so not a whole lot of chances to use Kinker in that closer role. Tends to come in later in the game after the starter goes only a few innings. That decision was scrapped today as Kinker will make not only his first start of the season, but the first start of his 3-year career at Ohio State. So far, he's appeared in 19 games out of the pen, holds a 2-0 record and a 2.43 ERA in just over 40 innings pitched. He struck out 43, only walked 9, and hitters are only hitting 253 against him. And I did receive word from a couple of the Ohio State radio people that the two pitches to look out for, he throws a fastball that gets up in the high 80s and a really good slider that tends to put guys away. Helps us play in the 2.43 ERA. The Michigan lineup he'll face today is as follows. Jake Bivens leads things off. He bats plays first. Johnny Slater in center field bats second. Michael Brodar bats third. He plays short. Batting fourth, playing third base is Drew Lugbauer. Miles Lewis, the left fielder, bats fifth. Nick Poirier is the designated hitter for the day. He bats sixth. Jonathan Engelman, the right fielder, bats seventh. The second baseman, Jimmy Kerr, bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup in the 9th spot is catcher Harrison Wenson. That is the exact same lineup we saw yesterday for the Wolverines, and very much a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of situation here from Eric Bakich. Michigan so far outscoring Ohio State 11-2 in the series, his first 2 games. Kinker now always working from the stretch, gets his sign and fires the first pitch to Jake Bivens, low and outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Bivens, so far in the series, has only recorded 1 hit. He's 1 for 6, but has walked 3 times to go along with that as he takes the 1-0 pitch for a strike and evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. So far on the season, Bivens only batting .269, but his on-base percentage is .436, partly because of what just happened right there. He was hit by the pitch right on the knee. Looks to be limping down to first, but he immediately took off. Doesn't look to be in too much pain. He'll shake that one off and resume his spot at first base. Michigan has the leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the first. For Bivens, that the 19th time this season he's been hit by a pitch. Just an astronomical amount. Leads the team by far. The next closest player on the Michigan squad is 8 hit by pitches from Harrison Wenson. As Johnny Slater steps up, takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Home plate umpire Mike Duffy being rather generous there with that call. That would look to be well off the corner to me. It is Mike Duffy behind the plate today. Over at first is David Ewell, who was behind the plate for the first 2 games of this series. On the third base umpire today is Nate Thompson as a pickoff throw chases Bivens back over at first base. Bivens a threat to steal here. 19 stolen bases this season on only 23 attempts. As Slater fouls this one back over the third base stands and out of play. Count now 0-2 on the center fielder for Michigan. Slater had a huge game back on Friday when he was batting in the 8 hole, went 3 for 4, a double and a triple, 3 RBIs in that ball game. It's the 0-2 pitch to him. He just gets a piece of it as he reaches out off that outside corner and spoils a good pitch there from Kinker. That'll go out of play, and the count will remain 0-2. Slater a bit quieter yesterday, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts on the day. Didn't look very comfortable against the left-handed pitchers Ohio State threw at him. Is facing the righty Kinker, though, here. Down 0-2 in the count. Another pickoff, though, chases Bivens back. He dies back in before the tag from the first baseman, Coolin. The Ohio State defensive alignment has Cowles, Gant, and Canzone across the outfield left to right. As the 0-2 pitch here to Slater misses low and away for a ball to count 1-2. On the infield, it's Cherry and Washington on that left side like we've seen in all 3 games. Noah West over at second, Bo Coolin over at first, and catching behind the plate is Jacob Barnwell for the right-hander Seth Kinker. The 1-2 pitch now to Slater, hit high in the air, just into shallow center field. The shortstop Washington ranging out. He'll make the grab with ease for out number 1. So Slater pops out here, and it'll be a runner on first, 1 gone in the inning for the shortstop, Michael Berdar. Berdar so far 1 for 7 in this series so far. Has scored a run when he got on base back just yesterday, and also did get on base with a walk on Friday. He looked to do the same thing here, try to get a rally started in the bottom of the first for Michigan as Bivens takes an aggressive lead off first. Isn't going as Berdar fouls this one down the left field line. The count 0-1. Berdar, the senior shortstop for Michigan, batting .315 on the year. Has himself 3 home runs and 32 RBIs to go along with it. There's the 0-1 pitch here from Kinker. Is low and away. Bivens faking the steal and stopping about a third of the way to the second base bag. The count will go 1-1. And it looked like Barnwell thought about throwing down to first, trying to back pick Bivens there. Opted not to do so. Not sure if he didn't get a clean handle on the ball or just didn't think he would be able to get Bivens. Bivens now broke towards second. The pickoff throw got him at first. Bivens picked off for the 2nd day in a row as he broke towards second briefly as Kinker made his move and was thrown out over there at first as Coolin slapped the tag on him with plenty of time. So now 2 outs in the inning, nobody on. Michael Berdar still at the plate facing a 1-1 count. Pitch fouled straight back to the screen, the count 1-2. Kinker, a bit of an unorthodox delivery. He almost has a Craig Kimbrell-like stance as he waits to get his sign, tucks that glove on his left hand near his knee as this 1-2 pitch is popped, or bounced rather, off of Bivens at the plate. Count, or rather, Berdar at the plate, the count 1-2 still. But as Kinker gets his sign, he has that right arm dangling down by his side. Really crouches down low with the glove tucked up between the knee and the shoulder. He gets down that low. Then when he comes set, holds his glove in his hand a bit like almost behind his head from the batter's standpoint as Berdar fouls another one back behind the plate, the count 1-2. If you're a right-handed batter, you can't really see the glove of Kinker. He holds it behind his head. He goes quick pitch on this one, though, and the count will go to 2-2 as that one misses low and away. Kinker also comes from more of a slingshot 3/4 delivery. As that 2-2 pitch misses outside for a ball, Berdar working a great at-bat here. Has run the count full, 3-2. Kinker trying to get out of the inning here, the 3-2 pitch. Berdar pops it up, foul behind the plate. The catcher Barnwell giving chase near the Ohio State dugout. He has room to make the grab for out number 3. So the Wolverines get a hit by pitch, a runner on with nobody out to lead off the inning. But after a pickoff and a couple other outs made, they do not score. We're through 1 inning of play here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Michael Hendrickson will be out for his 2nd inning of work. Gave up the one-out double last inning, but was able to work around it and not allow a run. Here in the second, he'll face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters of Ohio State. It's Zach Ratcliffe, Bo Coolin, and Tyler Cowles stepping to the plate. Ratcliffe was the starting designated hitter back on Friday. Got the day off yesterday. Appears Ohio State going with almost a platoon there at designated hitter, as well as over at second base. You had the lefty Oliver Jaski on the mound on Friday. The lefty Henderson on the mound today, with the righty Renard squeezed in there in between. And really the common theme of this series so far for Michigan has been the excellence of the starting pitching. It was Oliver Jaski back on Friday pitching a complete game shutout, the first of his career, in a 6-0 Michigan win. And yesterday, Alec Renard doing his best to match him, went 7 innings of 1-run ball, struck out 8 over that time frame. As Michigan went on to win that one by a score of 5-2. So it's Hendrickson looking for another quality start. He was able to get one last time out at Rutgers. Through 1 inning scoreless here, the first pitch of the second inning. It was on the inside corner for a strike to the big designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe stands in that batter's box at 6'5", 230, an intimidating presence over there. Stands right on that play as a breaking ball misses just off the plate away there for ball 1. Mike Duffy seems to have a bit of a double standard there for righties and lefties on the outside corner early on. This time a breaking pitch misses high and away for a ball, 2-1. Keep an eye on that throughout the game. That outside corner could be key for pitchers being able to get ahead and stay ahead of hitters here. The 2-1 pitch is in on the hands of Ratcliffe. He fouls it down the left field line over the Wolverine dugout. And the count will go to 2-2. The wind blowing from right to left today, and at times blowing straight out towards left, straight out towards center. A very windy day here as this one is off the end of the bat, and that's going to fall into right field for a base hit. So Ratcliffe fights off the 2-2 pitch from Henderson, and the Ohio State Buckeyes have the lead-off runner on here in the second inning. That will bring out the first baseman, Bo Coolin. Coolin, a .231 hitter. So far, 2 for 7 on the series with a walk. And scored one of only 2 Ohio State runs in yesterday's ballgame. Stands at left-handed batter's box, and the first pitch from the lefty, Hendrickson, misses just high, so the count is going to go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Over at first, Ratcliffe taking his lead. 1 for 1 on stolen base this season as a line drive goes over the head of the second baseman, Kerr, into right field for a base hit. Couple runners on here to start the inning on a couple singles. And with runners on first and second, no one out, it'll bring up the left fielder, Tyler Cowles. Cowles, the left fielder for the day, gets his sign down from the third base coach for Ohio State. Looks to be the manager out there, Greg Beals. That'll be Sean Kenny, the pitching coach for Michigan, out to the mound to have a word here with Michael Henderson. Henderson in a bit of trouble here early on. 2 runners on with nobody out in the second inning. Like to get a ground ball here if you're Hendrickson in the middle infield. Berdar and Kerr can possibly turn a double play up the middle. Makes it a lot easier to get out of a jam like this. Cowles coming up to the plate, the left fielder getting his first start of the series. So far, he did appear in yesterday's ballgame, pinch hitting, went 0 for 1. His average on the season sits at 196, but he does have a .333 on-base percentage, and if you're Ohio State, just getting on base here will do. Nobody out in the inning. couple runners on, a chance to do some damage. Maybe put up a crooked number. Get the first significant lead of the series. The only lead they've had so far was a 1-0 lead back in the third inning yesterday. As Hendrickson comes set for the first pitch, it's bunted. It's going to go pop up and just go foul on the left field line. Wenson gave chase from his catcher position, flung the mask off. Almost got there. Thought about making a dive, but wouldn't have been able to stretch out just far enough to get it, so the count goes to 0-1 on Cowles. As Beal's down at third base, flashes the signs there again. Cowles steps in that right-handed batter's box. We'll see if he's squaring around here. The corners of the Wolverine infield pinching in, expecting a bunt. The middle infielders playing at double play depth. Cowles is squaring around here as Hendrickson comes set. He pulls back, though, on the 0-1 pitch and takes it for a strike on the outside corner. Stares back at home plate umpire Mike Duffy. Not agreeing with that call, but it looked pretty good from up here in the press box. And the count will go to 0-2. Wolverine corner infielders back off now with the 0-2 count on Cowles. He's swinging away at 0-2, and this one misses low and away for a ball, 1-2. Hendrickson looks like he went with the change up there. Low end away, trying to get Cowles to chase. See if he breaks out the big looping breaking ball here on 1-2. He does not. This one bounces in the dirt, though. Wenson able to locate it between his feet just in time, so Ratcliffe and Cooling cannot advance on the base paths. And the count's going to go to 2-2 on Cowles. Cowles, despite the 196 batting average, does have 7 extra base hits and 14 RBIs on the year. There's a runner in scoring position trying to add on to that 14 RBI total. The big curveball there gets him swinging for strike 3 on the outside corner, though. So Cowles will walk back to the dugout, and there will be 1 out in the inning. A couple runners on for the catcher, Jacob Barnwell. Really good looping breaking ball there by Hendrickson. One of his go-to pitches. Was able to bring it back to that outside corner. Just close enough where Cowles had to take a hack at it. He was out in front and came up empty. So situation a little more manageable now for Hendrickson facing Barnwell. He comes set the first pitch. Looks like a fastball missed high, maybe a bit outside there. The count 1-0. Does appear to be some action going on in the Wolverine bullpen. Perhaps a shorter leash on Hendrickson today with the bullpen pretty much fully rested. As this 1-0 pitch is fouled over the stands on the first base side and into the parking lot, out of play. The count goes to 1-1. Michigan's only used 4 pitchers on the series. It was Oliver Jaski with that complete game back on Friday. Yesterday, Renard went 7. Lozier and Lamb each went 1. The 1-1 pitch here misses high for a ball, as well as outside. So the count's going to go to 2-1. Michigan does have another game, though, coming up on Tuesday. So we'll see how head coach Eric Bakich opts to manage the bullpen. The 1-1 pitch is just off the inside corner for ball 3. Wenson held it there for an extra beat, didn't get the call. So count 3-1. It would be Central Michigan coming up, a 6 p.m. Eastern start on Tuesday rather. We'll have that call for you on WCBN Sports. The 3-1 pitch here is lined deep down the left field line. It's hooking. Foul. It cleared the big brick wall in left field. Would have been a 3-run homer had it been able to stay fair. But it did just hook around that left field foul pole. So a scary strike, but a strike nonetheless there. And Hendrickson able to work this count full, 3-2. Barnwell at the plate is susceptible to the strikeout, 41 on the season to 23 walks. As the 3-2 pitch fouled, just missing the on-deck hitter over there. That's Noah West. Had a line drive screaming past his head, hit the screen near the Ohio State dugout. Almost a scary situation there. But Barnwell able to stay alive. The count remains 3-2. West over there takes an extra step back from the plate now towards the dugout and then on deck circle. As Henderson gets ready for another 3-2 pitch. This one's hit high. It's going to stay on the infield, though. Or rather, drift out into the outfield just deep enough for Miles Lewis to camp under it and make the grab as he once again loses his hat. That will be out number 2. The wind really took that one. It looked like it was going to stay on the infield out the bat. Drifted out to a Lewis, who was slowly drifting in case that ball decided to go even farther into left field. He's able to make the grab, flipping off the hat as he is apt to do. And now 2 outs in the inning, still 2 runners on. That'll bring up the second baseman, Noah West, the 9-hitter today in the Ohio State lineup. First pitch to West is a breaking ball on the inside corner for strike 1. West, the right-handed hitter, batting .273 on the season. We saw him back in Friday's ball game. He did not appear in yesterday's ball game with Connor Pohl getting the start. As this pitch misses outside for a ball, the count goes to 1-1. Pohl and West, both freshmen, a freshman platoon over there at second base for Ohio State. Both of them, the numbers don't pop off the page, but the 1-1 pitch is swung at and missed there. An awkward swing by West as both his feet were moving around in that batter's box. Henderson had him way out in front. The count goes to 1-2. So I was saying the numbers don't look overwhelming for either of West or Pohl. But when you're freshmen adjusting to the college level, it's almost expected you're going to struggle in that first year. Imagine we'll see some improvement over the next couple of years. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung at and missed for strike 3. So Henderson has his 3rd strikeout of the ball game and is able to work out of the jam after Ohio State gets the first 2 runners on. Henderson retires the next 3. Ohio State does not score, and after 1.5 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score still Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. Here on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. Resuming his spot on the mound for Ohio State is the junior right-hander Seth Kinker. Was impressive in that first inning after hitting Bivens with the pitch, able to bear down, got ahead of Slater in the count, made him pop up, proceeded to pick off Bivens from first base, and then got ahead in the count against Michael Berdar. Kept battling after Berdar ran the count full and got a pop-up behind the plate for out number 3. Kinker, arguably Ohio State's best pitcher, has been working out of the bullpen for his entire career. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, normally the closer for Ohio State, but has not been used much this season, so his role has been adapted into getting significant time in several ball games. Normally comes in around the 4th and finishes a game out. Instead here, getting the start, and through 1 inning, looks to be doing pretty well in that situation. Here in the 2nd inning, he'll face the 4, 5, 6 hitters from Michigan, and Drew Lugbauer, Miles Lewis, and Nick Boye. As the big 3rd baseman for the Wolverines, Lugbauer steps up to the plate. Lugbauer, a .282 hitter on the year, is 3 for 6 on the season, or on this series rather. Scored a run, driven in a run, and also walked a couple times. First pitch here from Kinker catches the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. And we see that slider on display here early on. It slinged across the strike zone from that outside corner, caught the inside corner. He throws another one here. This one actually looked more like a fastball that just missed off the inside corner. The count 1-1. Ohio State, the pitching staff so far this weekend, So all the Michigan left-handed hitters been really pounding that inside corner. As they go back inside there again, but this one misses low and in for a ball to count 2-1. Michigan's lineup does feature a lot of lefties. They start 5 in the ball game today, as well as switch hitter Miles Lewis will bat from the left side. This one's bounced on the ground towards second. West makes the play easily and fires over to first for out number 1. So Lugbauer retired here to begin the second, and that'll bring up the aforementioned Miles Lewis. He's switch hitting left fielder for the Wolverines. Lewis, so far in the series, batted second on Friday. Has since batted in the 5 for the last couple games. On the series, just 1 for 7, but has worked 2 walks and scored a run. He's averaged down to .299 on the year as he takes the first pitch up and away for ball 1. Kinker gets the ball back, gets his sign quickly. He fires the 1-0 pitch. So it's fouled down the left field line, over the stands here out of play. So the count goes to 1-1. Kinker very much like a reliever out there. Gets the ball back, puts that foot on the rubber, and stares in for the sign almost immediately. The 1-1 pitch here, fouled off by Lewis again. Out of play to the left side, the count goes to 1-2. So far, once again, Ohio State pitching trying to go inside on the Michigan left-handed bats. Lewis fouling a couple off that were tailing in on him. See what happens on the 1-2 pitch. This one looked like a slider that didn't slide enough as it missed high and away for a ball. Count goes to 2-2. Lewis right up, toes on the line there, that left-handed batter's box. The 2-2 pitch is fouled over the stands on the left field side again. The count will remain 2-2. Ohio State going away from Lewis this time with the last couple pitches. He reached out, caught that one off the end of the bat, and stayed alive. Now a 2-2 pitch, they go back in, and he fouls this one on the right field line. Bounces off the protective barrier between the Ohio State bullpen and the Ohio State dugout. Plenty of fans lined up along that barrier. This count remains 2-2. Almost a capacity crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Still a few seats to spare. I imagine some of those belong to those fans standing down that left, or rather than that right field line, rather. As Kinker gets set for another 2-2 pitch. Lewis lines this one towards left. The left fielder, Cowles, though, ranges over to make the grab. Lewis hit it just a bit too hard. Couldn't quite drop in front of the left fielder, Cowles. And there will now be 2 outs in the inning, nobody on for the designated hitter, Nick Poirier. Poirier had himself a solid ball game back on Friday, went 2 for 4, scored a couple runs. Yesterday, only 1 for 4, but that one was a big one, a RBI double. I believe may have been changed back to a single at the end of ball game today. This time he grounds one up the middle off the mound, but the second baseman West ranges over near second to make the play on the backhand and fires over to first for out number 3. West showing off some nice range there to retire Poirier, and the Wolverines go 1-2-3 here in the second after 2 innings of play at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. So despite a little bit of trouble last inning, Hendrickson resumes his duties on the mound here in the third. Wasn't really a doubt that he would be out there for the third. There was some action in the bullpen back last inning, though. Nonetheless, though, Henderson getting a chance to put together another quality start here. I mentioned he had a quality start back on Sunday last week against Rutgers, went 6 innings, only allowed 3. And coincidentally enough, that translates to a .450 ERA. Michael Hendrickson's ERA coming into the game was exactly at .450. Wolverines, I'm sure, will take a 6-inning, 3-run performance out of Henderson. They've gotten some stellar pitching all weekend long. And with the wind blowing out, Wolverine offense, it seems like it's only a matter of time before they start putting the balls in the air, trying to get that in the jet stream. It's a similar situation back on Friday. Jake Post started for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Kept Michigan under wraps for most of the ball game. Only had given up 1 run through most of the game before the Wolverines exploded for 4 in the 6th. As this time the leadoff hitter Trey Gant steps up to the plate, tries to bunt one, but it's bounced behind the plate foul near the Ohio State bullpen. The count 0-1. Gant, the center fielder for Ohio State, has showed off the speed in this series, ranging across the outfield, making a couple plays that may normally drop for base hits. Also squared around countless times. The 0-1 pitch here not squared around as a breaking ball from Henderson gets in there for a strike. 0-2. He's dangerous when he gets on base. Double-digit steals, as do the other 2 members of the top 3 in Ohio State's order, all due up this inning. This time the 0-2 pitch just fouled off the very end of the bat and back behind the plate. Gant stays alive. The count remains 0-2. Gant, when he's able to get on base, can help manufacture some runs. The 0-2 pitch here, breaking ball misses just off the plate, inside for ball 1. Wenson was set up away, had to reach back to that inside corner, so very little chance of getting the call on that one. Now a 1-2 pitch, set up outside again. This time a fastball is swung at a bit late there by Gant, and he fouls it on the left field line and out of play. The count remains 1-2. So far, in just a couple at-bats today, Gant already seen more pitches than he did yesterday, it seems like. Only got to the 3rd pitch of the at-bat in that one, but this time it's the 3rd strike here as he swings and misses at a ball low and away from Henderson. That's Henderson's 4th strikeout of the ball game. There's 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. That will bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington hit a double into left field on the very first pitch of his at-bat back in the 1st inning. Proceeded to steal a bag, but was not scored. So the first pitch to him this time bounces in the dirt for ball 1. That was Washington's team-leading 12th steal of the year. Next 2 closest ones are Gant, who hit before him at 10, as well as the on-deck hitter Canzone, also at 10, as he swings and misses here. Big swing and a miss at the 1-0 pitch, and the count goes to 1-1. Henderson now ready, the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball. Misses low for ball 2. Count 2-1. Henderson featuring that big breaking ball early on in counts here, trying to keep the Ohio State hitters off balance. Of the 2-1 pitch, he was a fastball that's bounced to Berdar. Berdar makes the play deep in the hole, fires over to first with a strong throw as he falls down to his backside for out number 2. A much harder play than it seemed for Michael Berdar. It was a high hopper hit right at him, but he had to back out a couple steps to make sure he could get it on a favorable hop. Fielded that ball as it was bouncing upwards at his chest and fired a throw falling away from first, showing off that arm strength that Berdar possesses. Was able to retire Washington at first by about a half a step. So now with 2 outs, nobody on, it's Canzone stepping up to the plate. He takes the first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Canzone, the freshman phenom for Ohio State, on a 12-game hitting streak. Heading the count 1-0 here. Bounces one towards first. It's Bivens. He'll make the play and take it to first by himself. 3 unassisted. So Henderson bounces back with a 1-2-3 inning of his own here in the top of the 3rd. After the top of the 3rd, we're still scoreless here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score: Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. On the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. Hendrickson, or rather when Kinker resumes his duties here in the bottom of the third. He'll face the bottom third of the Wolverine order, Jonathan Engelman, Jimmy Kerr, and Harrison Wenson. It's been the bottom third of the Wolverine order that's really done a lot of damage so far this weekend. Back on Friday, scored five of the 6 Wolverine runs. Drove in 5 of the 6 Wolverine runs as well. In yesterday's ball game, it was Kerr and Wenson pairing up for a double and a sacrifice fly to start the scoring for the Wolverines in that one. But overall got on base a total of 4 times, and combined with that sacrifice fly, been very productive all weekend long. So far, though, Michigan unable to do much against Seth Kinker. It was Bivens back in the top of the first, getting on base with a hit by pitch before eventually being picked off. Michigan still looking for their first hit of the ball game. They'll send up Jonathan Engelman to try to convert that. And so far, this ball game started off very much like yesterday. Michigan getting the leadoff runner Bivens on before being picked off. Next 2 batters being retired, a 1-2-3 inning in the second. And if the pattern holds true, Engelman will make it out here, and Kerr will record the first hit of the ball game for Michigan. Engelman trying to avoid keeping that trend going. He'll try to get the Wolverines on the hit column by himself, but he'll take the first pitch inside. He spins out of the way, and a count 1-0. Engelman, after a bit of a slow weekend, batting average down to .297 on the year. This time he thinks about swinging at a slider that catches the outside corner for strike 1, but ends up not going around. So far on the weekend, Engelman batting 0 for 8, but has put the ball in play every single time he's been at the plate. This time he swings and misses at a good pitch bearing down and on. And the count goes to 1-2. Engelman likes to take his time in between pitches, perhaps throwing the opposing pitchers off. Finally gets in there in the 1-2 pitch from Kinker. Fouled off over the stands on the right field side and out of play. Count will remain 1-2 on the right fielder for Michigan. Kinker already ready to get his sign. Engelman still taking his time. Now steps into the box. And here's another 1-2. Called strike 3. Engelman thought about going around and pulled back, but the slider was on the outside corner at the knees, according to home plate umpire Mike Duffy. So Engelman's first strikeout of the weekend is the first strikeout of the game for Seth Kinker. And there's one out here in the third. It'll now be the second baseman, Jimmy Kerr, stepping up to the plate. Kerr still filling in for Makeo Thomas, we haven't seen in a couple weekends. Filling in admirably thus far in this series. 2 for 6. He fouls that one down the left field line. It's going to get out of play over the Wolverine bullpen. Count 0-1. 2 for 6 on the weekend. Got the hit parade started for Michigan yesterday. He's also scored a couple runs on the weekend and walked once. They look to get on base here as the 0-1 pitch from Kinker misses low and in for a ball, 1-1. With this 2 for 6 weekend thus far, Jimmy Kerr, thanks to a limited sample size, has boosted his average well up to .308. His on-base percentage up to .365. This time a slider misses just off the plate away there to Kerr. The count 2-1. That one looked pretty good from up here, but not quite good enough according to home plate umpire Mike Duffy. See 2-1 pitch. Misses off the plate inside now to Kerr. He's ahead in the count 3-1. Kerr, the left-handed hitting sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Waits the 3-1 pitch. Misses high. A bit in there for ball 4. And Kerr, the second base run of the game for Michigan, is on first with 1 gone here in the third for the catcher, Harrison Wenson. Wenson striding up to the plate. Had himself a huge home run back on Friday that really broke the game open. He was 1 for 3, a couple of RBIs there. Did go 0 for 3 yesterday, but did have that sacrifice fly to open the scoring for Michigan in that one. This time he takes the first pitch from Kinker for a strike, the count 0-1. Wenson holds himself a .209 batting average on the season, and he awaits the 0-1 from Kinker. That one misses off the plate away for a ball, 1-1. The senior from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Always so good behind the plate and handling pitchers. Has to wait a second here as Kinker chases Kerr back at first. He dives back in safely. Kerr over there at first, hasn't attempted a ton of steals in his limited time. He's 2 for 2 on the season though. Not going here as the pitch misses low and into Wenson. The count 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still scoreless between Michigan and Ohio State. Kinker gets his sign now, comes set. The 2-1 to Wenson. Swing and a miss at a slider, moving off the plate away. Good pitch there from Kinker, and the count goes to 2-2. Wenson is prone to the strikeout. Has struck out a team-leading 58 times on the year. We have seen him able to stay alive, put together some nice at-bats from time to time. We'll have to do it again here with 2-2. This time he fouls one right off the screen in front of the Michigan dugout. Sends the players that are standing on the top step there scurrying. And the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. On a 2-2 pitch back on Friday that Wenson hit that big 2-run homer into left center. A 2-2 pitch here is grounded towards short. The shortstop Washington throws to second for 1. The relay throw in time at first base, a double play. So a 6-4 3-double play there gets Ohio State out of the inning. And through 3 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, we remain scoreless between Michigan and Ohio State. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. Michael Hendrickson resuming duties on the mound here in the top of the 4th inning. He'll face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters of the Ohio State order: Brady Cherry, Zach Ratcliffe, and Bo Poulin. It's the part of the order that gave Henderson a bit of trouble back in the 2nd. Look to recover here in the 4th. As a t-shirt toss goes on, they tossing t-shirts out to a just about capacity crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Really the only seats that are visibly empty are the ones near the top in the shade. Fans wanting to enjoy the sunshine here on what has been a mostly sunny day in Ann Arbor. Great day to come out for some baseball. Michigan trying to go for the sweep and keep their Big Ten title hopes alive. Currently sitting at 11-6 in a tie for 3rd place with Minnesota. Sitting in first right now is Maryland, who dropped a game yesterday at Illinois. So they sit at 14-6, tied with Michigan in the loss column. Nebraska currently sits in 2nd with a record of 11-5-1. So Brady Cherry, the 3rd baseman for Ohio State, now strides up to the plate. Takes his spot in that right-handed batter's box. We're ready to resume play here in the 4th. First pitch from Hendrickson. Swing and a miss from Cherry on a pitch moving down and away from him. A good pitch there by Hendrickson. The count goes to 0-1. Henderson now working quickly, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball that time in the dirt, but Cherry goes fishing. The count goes to 0-2 on the right-handed hitting third baseman for Ohio State. Cherry chokes up now on the bat, holds it out in front of him. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3 on a low ball from Hendrickson. That is Hendrickson's 5th strikeout of the ball game, and there's 1 gone here in the 4th inning. That will bring up the designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe. It was Ratcliffe that strung together the first of back-to-back hits in the 2nd inning. After a 5-pitch at-bat against Hendrickson. This time the first pitch he sees is bounced towards short. It'll be Berdard, a backhand. He fires a strong throw over to first in time for out number 2. Now with 2 gone in the inning, that'll bring up the first baseman, Bo Coolin. Or rather, Bo Coolin there. Coolin, the left-handed hitting first baseman for Ohio State. Has that open stance in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch from Henderson is bounced towards second. Kerr makes the play, slides to a stop, and gets up, tosses over to first for out number 3. A nice quick inning there, just 5 pitches needed by Henderson to go 1, 2, 3. And through 3.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score remains Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. On WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. That was a bit of a unique play made there by Kerr. He was charging in, fielded the ball just before he would have fielded on a short hop. It was a high chopper. So he fielded it just before it hit the ground on the first hop. Slid to a stop as if he was sliding into a base, popped up, made a nice easy toss over to Bivens. Remember, when you see players sliding, they're sliding to their right or their left in order to pop up and make a throw. He slid straight in towards home plate in order to field that one. So looking to answer that 1, 2, 3 inning will be Seth Kinker. He's back out on the mound for the 4th inning of work. Yet to allow a hit to Michigan. He's given up a couple base runners, but they've been erased on pickoffs, and a pickoff and a double play ball in the 1st and 3rd innings, respectively. The one of 2 batters to get on so far today against Kinker is Jake Bivens. He'll lead things off here in the 4th. Following him will be Johnny Slater and Michael Berdard, the top 3 of the Michigan order. Bivens back in the 1st was hit by a pitch for the 19th time this season. So Bivens now will take his place in the left-handed batter's box. It's the right-handed pitching Kinker. Kinker gets a sign, and the first pitch of the at-bat misses high and away for a ball, 1-0 rather. Bivens, when he got picked off back in the 1st, for the 2nd time in consecutive games it's happened to him. So this 1-0 pitch misses high for a ball, 2-0. Yesterday's ball game, he took off towards second. A move from Connor Curlis was thrown out. Trying to advance there, this time just broke towards second, dove back in. It wasn't in time as the 2-0 pitch misses just low there, I guess, from Seth Kinker. Looked like a pretty good pitch with some good outward movement. Didn't get the call from Mike Duffy. The count 3-0. Now he does get the call from Mike Duffy on a pitch that looked to move off the plate. And so the count will go to 3-1. Now the 3-1 pitch. Shot back up the middle. Not able to get it as a diving West. So Michigan has their first hit of the ball game. It belongs to Jake Bivens as he leads off with a single here in the 3rd. Michigan looking to scratch across the first run of the game. 1 runner on, nobody out for Johnny Slater. Slater 0 for 1 on the ball game. Popped out to short in his last at bat. It's a ball that made its way into shallow left field. Possibly helped out a bit by that wind that currently right now is blowing from right to left. Slater tries to lay on a bunt, but cannot do so on a pitch that was on the outside corner. The count 0-1, and Slater definitely bunting for a hit there. He's running out of the box. He tried to make contact with that one. Not going for the sacrifice. Now he's in a hole 0-1 after a pickoff throw over to first. Bivens dives back in safely. It'll be something to watch out for. Bivens, an aggressive base runner, 19 stolen bases, 23 attempts, but picked off twice already this weekend, including once by Kinker. The 0-1 pitch, square round by Slater again. This one bounced right in front of the plate on a high chopper. The throw made by the catcher in time at first. Slater throws his hands up in dismay. Doesn't agree with the call by first base umpire David Ewell. But the catcher, Barnwell, was able to pop out from his stance and grab that ball off the high hop off the Ray Fisher Stadium turf and fire over to Cooley just in time to retire Slater. If any consolation for Slater, though, it won't hurt his batting average. It went on as a sacrifice bunt, 2-3. As Bivens moves up to scoring position at second, with the shortstop Michael Berdar coming up to the plate. Berdar last at bat put together a lengthy one on the 8th pitch of that bat. He fouled out behind the plate on a pop-up that was reeled in by the catcher Barnwell just in front of the Ohio State dugout. The first pitch of this at bat is taken by Berdar for a strike. The count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch will have to wait as Kinker moves back towards second. Chases Bivens back to the bag. A little bit of a hitch there by Kinker and moving back towards second. Borderline balked. But third base umpire Nate Thompson has the best view of it, so give him the benefit of the doubt. As this one is hit high in the air towards the right side. This one drifting towards out of play. The first baseman Coolin's over. Cannot make the play as it gets into the Ohio State bullpen. He tried about as well as he could. Reached over that barrier down there. It was out of his reach by a few feet. And the count will go to 0-2 on Michael Berdar. Berdar very comfortable in the situation. Only struck out 16 times on the year. But Kinker does have that electric slider. We'll see if he goes here with it on 0-2. This time it moved back towards second again. Chases Bivens back, and again, a little bit of a hitch in that delivery by Kinker. He almost comes stop with the leg at the top as he turns back and then spins. Nonetheless, the 0-2 pitch now. It will look like it was the slider moving down, and Berdar fouled it down the left field line off the barrier there between the Michigan bullpen and the Michigan dugout. So the count will remain 0-2. Berdar will stay alive. Verano waves that bat low and over the plate. Now another 0-2 pitch. Swung at and missed. The slider moving away in the other batter's box. Berdar frustrated with himself as he strikes out here for the first time in the ballgame. And there are 2 outs here in the third. Michigan wants to keep the inning alive, try to push across the run. It will be up to the big third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Have to wait a second, though, as pitching coach Mike Stafford is out to the mound to talk with his pitcher Kinker about how exactly he wants to attack Drew Lugbauer in this at-bat. Lugbauer so far 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He grounded out to second, back in the second. It's Bivens out there at second base after a leadoff single in the inning. We've seen a sacrifice bunt by Johnny Slater and then a strikeout by Michael Berdar. So that is how we got to the situation we're currently in with Lugbauer at the plate, 2 gone, runner on second base. The first pitch to him is a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Once again going back inside to try to retire Lugbauer. Worked back in the first, or rather back in the second. So Kinker 0-1, again trying to go inside. The slider on a check swing, no swing, according to third base umpire Nate Thompson. Currently out near second. He's really hearing it from the Ohio State dugout, the Ohio State fans that have made the trip up to Ann Arbor today. So that'll go down as a ball, count 1-1. Kinker taking his time now, gets set. The 1-1 pitch. This one misses low and in for a ball. The count goes to 2-1. Should Legbauer reach? It's the left fielder Miles Lewis waiting on deck. There's the 2-1 here from Kinker. Misses off the plate inside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. Once again, Ohio State really pounding that inside part of the plate, or at least trying to against Legbauer. Had to jam him and mitigate some of that tremendous power he has in that bat. See if he gets one here to hit on 3-1. He does not, but it catches the inside corner for a strike. The count goes to 3-2. Legbauer was ready to walk down to first. Started twirling the bat like he was going to flip it to the Michigan dugout, but had to resume his spot in the left-handed batter's box. Now the payoff pitch. This one's bounced towards second. The second baseman West ranging in, makes the play on a couple hops, and tosses over to first on the run for out number 3. So Michigan gets a leadoff single, but strands a runner at second. After 4 innings to play here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score still remains Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. The official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. The sun shining down here at Ray Fisher Stadium, providing a bit of warmth here for the fans that made their way out. According to the National Weather Service, currently sitting at 55 degrees. And there is that bit of wind that's been blowing pretty much all day long. And of course, with the just about full house, plenty of kids in attendance. They've got 4 of them down on the field, and one of the games I've never seen here before. Very interesting one. They put a hula hoop on the ground and have the 4 kids in the giant blow-up inflatable balls. Have to be the last one standing inside the hula hoop after the music stops, similar to musical chairs, but a little more violent. And they're bouncing around out there, knocking each other down. No one's in the hula hoop right now. And the last one standing is finally determined. An entertaining mid-game game there at the very least. And so we'll head over to the top of the 5th now after that is concluded. For Ohio State here in the 5th, it'll be Tyler Cowles, Jacob Barnwell, and Noah West, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Ohio State order, to face Michael Hendrickson, who has retired 9 in a row after getting up back-to-back singles in the 2nd. We'll wait on a little bit of a delay here. Head coach Eric Bakich doing a quick mid-game interview, it looks like. Now that that is concluded, we'll get underway. Mike Duffy, the home plate umpire, puts the ball in play, and Hendrickson winds up for the first pitch of the at-bat. It is swung on and missed there by Cowles for strike 1. Cowles so far 0 for 1 on the day with the strikeout back in the 2nd against Hendrickson. He waits the 0-1 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 2. Hendrickson really dealing right now. Seems to be in a zone. Only needed 5 pitches to get out of last inning. He struck out the first batter on 3 pitches, then got a couple first pitch groundouts. This time the 3rd pitch of the inning is swung on and missed for strike 3 by Cowles. He goes down for the 2nd time today. That's Hendrickson's 6th strikeout of the ball game. And now with 1 gone, we'll bring up the catcher, Jacob Barnwell. Barnwell 0 for 1 on the day as well. He flew out to left last time, back in the second inning. Now Henderson winds up the first pitch to Barnwell. It's a breaking ball that bounces low and in near the feet of Barnwell for ball one. The count 1-0, so officially Henderson not going to be quite as efficient as he did last inning. Already the fifth pitch of the inning coming here. That one misses just off the plate away for ball two. As Harrison went and held it there for an extra beat. Then took an extra second to toss it back to Henderson on the mound. Blatantly not happy with that call. The 2-0 pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Looked like Henderson took a bit off of that one. Not sure if it was the fastball, just took some off to try to get it in there, or more of a changeup that Barnwell wasn't expecting. This time the ball bounces in the dirt at the plate. And the count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike on the Ohio State catcher. Barnwell, the sophomore out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky, rather, takes ball 4, misses low end away, and he'll take his spot on first base. He snaps the streak of 10 consecutive batters retired by Hendrickson. With 1 on and 1 out, it'll be the second baseman Noah West stepping up to the plate. West receiving signs down there from his third base coach. Perhaps looking to put the sacrifice bunt on here. Barnwell taking an aggressive lead off of first base, trying to mess with Hendrickson. Might have worked there as Henderson missed with the first pitch high to West. The count 1-0. Barnwell over on first. Does have 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts. A little more than you expect from a catcher. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed there by West. The count goes to 1-1. West 0 for 1 with the strikeout on the day against Hendrickson thus far. That also came back in the second inning. And Henderson tosses over to first to chase Barnwell back, who was dancing off that bag. So we'll wait here just a couple seconds more for the 1-1 pitch from Hendrickson. Here it comes. Off-speed pitch, catches the outside corner around the belt for strike number 2. Count now 1-2 on the second baseman for Ohio State. West stands in there at 5'10", 170 in that right-handed batter's box. As he pickoff throw gets away from Bivens at first. He recovers though, and as Barnwell tries to go to second, he is thrown out. Bernard slaps the tag on him, so Bivens returns the favor after being picked off earlier. Barnwell is picked off on a 1-3-6 put out. And now there are 2 outs in the inning, and Noah West still down in the count, 1-2. Not really sure what Barnwell was thinking there. The ball didn't get away enough from Bivens to really do anything. It only got away maybe 5 to 10 feet. Bivens able to get on there and toss it in plenty of time. Poor base running there by Ohio State. Now the 1-2 pitch to West just gets a piece of it, fouls it off of Wenson behind the plate, it looked like, and ricocheted over near that Ohio State dugout. So West stays alive in the count, 1-2. Hendrickson now gets his sign, now working from the windup with nobody on. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung at and missed for strike 3 by West. And Henderson's got 7 strikeouts already through 5 innings of play. And through 5 innings of play, we are still scoreless at Ray Fisher Stadium. Or rather, through 4.5 innings. We're halfway home and still scoreless at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. On the official student media broadcast from Michigan Baseball, here on WCBN Sports. As I mentioned, Michigan trying to keep pace here early on with the top of the Big Ten standings. Now we get a update here from Champaign. Maryland has lost to Illinois again on a walk-off home run. So Maryland now sits at 14-7. Now, if Michigan can secure this one, there'll be a game back in the, or there'll be a game ahead of Maryland in the loss column. In order to win this one, though, they're going to have to score some runs. They've yet to do so against the Ohio State starting pitcher today, Seth Kinker. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Michigan. Miles Lewis, Nick Poirier, and Jonathan Engelman trying to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th. Michigan only one hit on the ballgame, only 3 base runners. 2 of those were erased almost immediately as Kinker has only faced 1 over the minimum. Really an excellent job here by Kinker, who wasn't announced as a starter before the series. Ohio State normally brings Kinker in around the 4th inning of the 3rd game of the series. Decided to start him today, and so far paying dividends. And it will be Miles Lewis leading things off here in the 5th inning for Michigan. He is 0 for 1, as many of the Wolverines are. He lined out to left field back in the 2nd inning. He'll take his place in that left-handed batter's box. The switch hitter batting left-handed against the right-handed pitching Kinker. First pitch to the at-bat. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Kinker has that slider that sweeps across the zone. Also has a bit of a run on his fastball towards his glove side, moving in on a left-handed pitcher, or rather left-handed hitter. He tries to toss that one there, but it bounces off of Miles Lewis, and he'll take his base at first. Lewis had a bit of a check swing. Didn't go around, though. Kinker not happy on the mound. Thought Lewis might have leaned over the plate as he tried to swing. Pitch looked to be well inside, though, and Lewis will take his spot on first base. The leadoff runner's on for Michigan in the bottom of the 5th. That will bring up the designated hitter, Nick Poirier. Kinker already standing on the mound as Poirier still out of the batter's box, waiting to get his sign from the dugout. He gets his sign, still not stepping in. Now he finally steps in. Mike Duffy signals to Kinker he can play. Now the first pitch to Poirier is bunted down that left field line. Charging is Cherry at 3rd. He makes a running play. Safe at first is Poirier. So Nick Poirier, I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a sacrifice or bunting for a hit. It turns out to be a bunt for a hit. Just Michigan's 2nd hit of the ball game. And they'll be runners on 1st and 2nd with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th for Jonathan Engelman. Engelman was caught looking at his first at-bat against Seth Kinker. So far, one of only 2 Kinker strikeouts on the day. Engelman getting a chance here with runners in scoring position, where he bats .321 so far on the season. There's Lewis out there at 2nd base. The first pitch to the at-bat from Kinker is squared on and bunted by Engelman on the left field line, but it's going to roll just foul. The 3rd baseman, Cherry, fields and toss it back to his pitcher. The count will go to 0-1. Michigan looking to play some small ball here, just trying to get on the board against Seth Kinker, who's really done a great job. A lot of movement on his pitches. Mentioned that slider that he has, that run on his fastball that really has given Michigan hitters fits. See if Engelman can solve that here in this at-bat. Down in the count 0-1 after squaring around. See if he squares around here on the 0-1 pitch. He does. And this one's bunted back near the pitcher, Kinker fields. He has no other play but to toss to first. So a nice sacrifice put down there by Engelman. Moves 2 runners into scoring position now. And with 1 out in the inning, it'll be Jimmy Kerr trying to cash in. Kerr, one of only few base runners for Michigan coming into this inning. He walked back in the third and was quickly erased on a double play ball for the very next batter, Harrison Wenson. He'll have a solid shot here, trying to improve on his 10 season RBIs. 2 ducks on the pond here. It's Lewis over at third, Poirier on second. As the first pitch to Kerr is hit foul on the left field line. It's going to get over the stands and out of play to count 0-1. And it looks like Kinker and Barnwell going back low and in on Kerr. Had to go down and get that one. Just got a piece of it. See if they go with 0-1. This time they go away, and the ball on the outside corner is called a strike for strike number 2. And now Kerr in a hole, 0-2 here, trying to drive home the first run or runs of the game for Michigan. The Ohio State outfield playing in, trying to cut down at least 1 run at the plate. The 0-2 pitch is bounced towards short. The shortstop, Washington, cannot make the play as it bounces up over his leaping glove. That was going to be a tough play. We'll see if it's ruled a hit or an error. It was a high chopper hit by Kerr. We'll see if he gets credit for the RBI, but regardless of whether it goes down in that RBI column, the score is now Michigan 1, Ohio State 0 here in the bottom of the 5th. It was indeed ruled an error, to the chagrin of some of the Wolverine fans here. They want Jimmy Kerr to get credit for the hit and the RBI. Doesn't look like he will. It did bounce off the glove of Washington as he leapt up trying to field the high chopper. Kerr was sprinting over there to first. I think he might have had a shot at beating it either way. We'll never know, though, as Washington was able to field. Poirier moved over to third on the play. So there's runners at the corner with Harrison Wenson coming up to the plate, and Michigan holding a 1-0 advantage. Before Wenson comes up to the plate, though, we'll get a brief meeting in front of the dugout. Head coach Eric Backett calling his runners and base coaches over, as well as the upcoming hitter Harrison Wenson. Trying to decide exactly what they want to do here with 1 gone. Runners on first and third. Wenson 0 for 1 on the day, grounded into a double play back in the third. This time he bunts one towards first. The first baseman, Coolin, makes the play, tags Wenson out, but a run scores on that one. That should go down as a squeeze bunt there, a sacrifice squeeze, and Wenson picks up an RBI on that one. Michigan now leads by a score of 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Perfectly executed squeeze there by Wenson. Didn't look like Ohio State was expecting it at all. So he bunted that one just straight down the line, right at the first baseman, Coolin, who ran in, didn't have a play at Poirier, who was sprinting home from third the second the ball hit the bat. Kerr moves up to second. And he scored 2-0. So Jake Bivens, the top of the Wolverine order, comes up to the plate. Takes the first pitch of this at-bat on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Bivens on base twice today. Was hit by a pitch back in the first and singled in the fourth last inning. Crouched in that left-handed batter's box, down low, open stance. The 0-1 pitch taken low for a ball, 1-1. Didn't chase the slider there from Seth Kinker. And it looks like Kerr is being awarded an RBI on that fielding error. So that'll bring his total up to 11 on the season. Wenson, his total now up to 35. As Lewis is ahead of a pitch and fouls it on the right field line off the barrier down that right field line. Count 1-2. Kinker trying to get out of the inning, limiting the damage to only 2 runs. Kerr still out there at second in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch poked fouls. Bivens reached out on that one, barely able to get a piece of it as it was off the plate away, but fouled it over the netting and over the left field stands here. The count will remain 1-2 on the Michigan leadoff hitter. Now the 1-2 pitch here from Kinker yet again. We'll have to wait though as they pick up throw to second. Kurt dives back in just ahead of the tag from Washington, who snuck in behind him from the shortstop position. Good awareness there by Kerr to get back just in time. So the inning stays alive here for another 1-2 pitch to Bivens. This one is poked towards short. The shortstop Washington fields on 2 hops, fires over to first, and gets Bivens by a half a step for out number 3. But Michigan scores twice on a RBI error by Jimmy Kerr and a sacrifice squeeze by Harrison Wenson. And after 5 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score: Michigan 2, Ohio State 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Michael Hendrickson coming out to the mound here to start the 6th inning of work. Henderson has yet to get past the 6th inning in any of his starts so far this year. Today looks like the day for it. Only at 71 pitches through 5 and has struck out 7 batters, only allowing 4 base runners on the day. So here in the 6th, he'll face the top of the Ohio State order: Trey Gant, Jalen Washington, and Dominic Canzone for the 3rd time in the ballgame today. As the Wolverine dugout bullpen engage in some yoga down the left field line. One of the many between inning activities they engage in. Always fun to see what they come up with, and oftentimes they'll get a nice hand from these fans on the 3rd base side as they walk back to the dugout, as they do here. You see a lot of flags waving, maize, Michigan flags with the blue block M on them. It's flag giveaway day here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Great day for it. Plenty of fans going home with some souvenir flags. See a lot of younger fans, especially today, waving those flags during the game, taking advantage of that win. As Gant steps up for his 3rd look at Hendrickson. The first pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike. The count 0-1. Gant so far 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout in the ballgame today. 1 of 7 strikeout victims from Hendrickson. This time a breaking ball bounces in the dirt, low and in. The count's going to move to 1 ball, 1 strike. Hendrickson's ERA that started the day at 4.50 currently sits at 4.11 after 5 shutout innings thus far. And that 1-1 pitch there to Gant misses well outside for a ball. The count goes to 2-1. Gant, the speedy center fielder, yet to square around in this at bat. We've seen him square around in many of his at bats so far today. This is a fastball, misses high and in. Gant almost limbos out of the way there. The count's going to move to 3 balls and 1 strike. Trey Gant, if he gets on base, is very capable of making his way around the bases. As he does get on base here, that breaking ball misses just a bit low, it looked like, for ball 4. So the Ohio State has the leadoff runner on here in the 6th inning. Trailing by 2, looking to get on the board. It'll bring up the shortstop Jalen Washington. Washington 1 for 2 on the ballgame, singled on the first pitch he saw back in the 1st. Grounded out in the 3rd. Gant over at first, a threat to steal, 10 for 13 and stolen bases on the year. Takes an aggressive lead, but isn't going on the first pitch that misses just outside to Washington for a ball, 1-0. We've really seen Gant's speed on display on defense, and when he's squaring around a bunt at the plate, but really not so much on the base paths this weekend. As a big swing and a miss there on what looked to be some sort of breaking ball there from Henderson, bearing down and in on Washington. He went down to a knee swinging at that one, and the count goes to 1-1. And no doubt Washington was trying to tie the game up with that swing right there. Instead, just tied the count up. Henderson takes an extra pause here with Gant on base. He's not running as the 1-1 pitch is fouled hard down the left field line off the barrier in front of the Michigan bullpen. And the count's going to go to 1-2. Hendrickson with a chance here to tie his career high of 8 strikeouts. Last set against, that was set against Penn State earlier this year here at at Ray Fisher Stadium back on April 2nd. This pitch is tapped foul behind the plate, and the count will remain 1-2 on Washington. Washington, 6'1" senior out of Twinsburg, Ohio, takes his place in that right-handed batter's box with the 1-2 pitch from Hendrickson. Misses away for a ball. Count 2-2 as Wenson had to reach away in that left-handed batter's box, popped up like he was going to toss down to first. Had Gant scampering back to the bag. Now Hendrickson keeping an eye on Gant over there, tosses over. Chases Gant back. He gets him there standing without a tag. So prolong the wait for the 2-2 pitch. Gant really hopping around out there as Henderson comes set and looks over at him. Not going as the 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball bounce towards third. Lower makes the play, bare hands it in fair territory, makes the play, throw over to first though, not in time. So that'll go down as an infield single for Jalen Washington, his second hit of the ballgame, and now Ohio State answers Michigan's couple of base runners to begin the bottom of the 5th, with a couple of base runners here of their own to begin the top of the 6th. As the speedy Trey Gant and Jalen Washington at second and first, respectively, with the dangerous Dominic Canzone stepping up to the plate. Before we get to this at-bat, it'll be Harrison Wensing walking out to the mound to talk with Michael Hendrickson. Double barrel action down in the Michigan bullpen. Could very well be a ploy here to buy them some extra time in case Coach Eric Bakich wants to make the move to his bullpen. Very well rested pen, of course. The only pitchers to come out so far have been Mac Lozier and Jackson Lamb, who pitched an inning each yesterday. So Wenson walks back behind the plate. And no movement from the Michigan dugout. As Canzone squares around a bunt here on the first pitch. He pulls back but takes the strike on the outside corner. Count 0-1. Canzone, the best hitter in the Ohio State lineup on a 12-game hitting streak. Squaring around there on the 0-1 and now squaring around here for the 0-1 pitch. There's some bounce back to Hendrickson at the pitcher's mound. He tosses over to third gets the lead runner out. That's Gant at third base. Nice play there by Michael Hendrickson. Helped that he was a lefty on the mound. He just had to field and toss over to Lugbauer covering third. So it's a fielder's choice for Canzone. His hitting streak still not extended. Could be in danger of being snapped here today. He'll be on first. Washington on second as Gant is erased. There's one out in the inning. Still a couple runners on, and that'll bring up the number 4 hitter, Brady Cherry. Cherry so far 0 for 2 today against Henderson with 2 strikeouts. Really having a rough weekend. The first pitch of this at-bat misses just off the plate, away, I guess. Not really sure where that one missed. Wenson looked to catch it well off the corner, well above the knees of Cherry. But the count 1-0 nonetheless. Now the 1-0 pitch to Cherry. This one misses inside as he lifts his hands out of the way. The count goes to 2-0. Cherry so far 8 strikeouts in 2.5 games so far on the weekend. Heading the count here 2-0 for the first time in a while. This time the breaking ball misses just off the plate away. Nice frame job there by Wenson, but that one did look to miss away. And the count will go to 3 balls and no strikes. Hendrickson in some dangerous territory here. A couple runners on, only 1 gone in the inning. A 3-0 pitch. That one's in there for a strike on the off-speed pitch. Hendrickson not challenging Cherry on the 3-0 pitch. Gave him something off speed to get in there. We'll see if what he goes with here on the 3-1. This one is lined into left field for a base hit. Lewis charging in. He'll make a throw home that'll be cut off as Washington is held at third base. But the bases are now loaded after the single off the bat of Brady Cherry. And now with 1 gone in the inning, bases juiced. It's the designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe. Now it's Harrison Wenson stepping out in front of the plate, flashing some signs to his infield as to how they want to play this. Looks like the infield is all playing back, going for a double play. And Wenson's going to go talk to his pitcher, Hendrickson, yet again. This one looks to be a one-on-one meeting, but now the middle infielders, Berdar and Kerr, start jogging towards the mound. And Lugbauer strides over as well. Bivens all alone in his position over there at first. But it will be Zach Ratcliffe here trying to even this thing up and perhaps give Ohio State the lead here in the 6th. But head coach Eric Backich making the long stroll out to the mound. Hasn't motioned to the bullpen yet. This can either be a strategy meeting or taking the ball from Hendrickson. Entire infield now in at the mound. We'll see what head coach Eric Backich opts to do here. Interesting scenario. Henderson's been good all day long, but has worked himself into a jam here, allowing really the first 4 base runners to reach. He did get an out, though, on a fielder's choice. Still no move made down to the bullpen as he talks with his pitcher and his infield. Home plate umpire Mike Duffy out to break up the meeting. Backich looks to be having a conversation with him, and there it is, the call to the bullpen. So Michael Henderson day is done here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 1 gone. His line not quite closed yet as he's responsible for all 3 of those runners on base. We'll see who Backich is going with. Michael Hendrickson coming off to the mound to a large ovation from a near sellout Ray Fisher Stadium crowd. A well-deserved ovation at that. Just misses tying his career high. He finished with 7 strikeouts on the day. He'll turn the ball over to what looks to be on first glance number 22 left-hander William Tribuker, the left-handed pitching sophomore out of San Clemente, California. The same combination that head coach Eric Backich went back on Sunday at Rutgers after Hendrickson left the game after 6 innings. It was Tribuker took the last 3 and closed the game out. Tribuker's numbers so far on the season: he has appeared in 15 games, did make a start back earlier in the year and has a save to his credit. He is 3-1 with a 2.57 ERA, 28 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, 15 walks. Opponents hitting .255 against him. And Michigan hoping he is just as stingy here. A double play ball would be huge if they could get one off the bat of the designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe 1 for 2 on the day versus Hendrickson. Single in the 2nd, also grounded out back in the 4th. As the big 6'5", 5th-year senior out of Blacklick, Ohio via Columbus Academy. Steps up to the plate. Chance to get Ohio State on the board here at the very least. A lot of scenarios here in play. Sacrifice fly against Ohio State, 1 run closer. A single probably ties it up. LeCanzone, who has some speed out there at second base. An extra base hit could very well give Ohio State the lead. Depending on what kind of jump Brady Cherry gets over there at first. So now we're ready here as the lefty Tribuker faces the righty Ratcliffe. The first pitch just off the inside corner for ball 1. Close pitch there. Tribuker came with that first pitch fastball trying to jam Ratcliffe, who did not bite. And now Tribuker set here for the 1-0 pitch. This one sent high in the air, deep to left field. Lewis takes a couple of steps back and just watches this one sail over the left field wall. A grand slam from Zach Ratcliffe, and Ohio State takes a 4-2 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. And what a swing of the bat there by Ratcliffe. That was gone off the bat. Absolutely crushed that ball. The farthest hit ball we've seen hit all weekend. And just like that, Hendrickson's book is closed. His final line is going to be 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. All 3 of them earned, walked 2, struck out 7, and currently in line for the loss should this score hold. Ohio State leading 4-2. It'll now be the left-handed hitting first baseman Boo Coolin, rather, taking the first pitch he sees from Tribuker inside for ball 1. I apologize to Bo and his family for butchering that name many times this weekend. He grounds this one over to second. Kern makes the play on a couple hops, tossed over to first for out number 1, or rather out number 2 in the inning. So now 2 gone, nobody on. It'll be the right-handed hitting junior left fielder Tyler Cowles stepping up to the plate. And the complexion of this game has changed mightily here. The first pitch from Tribuker bounces near Cowles' feet. He dances out of the way, and the count 1-0. What was a buzzing Ray Fisher Stadium crowd, Michigan was leading 2-0. All of a sudden, very quiet here. The 1-0 pitch to Cowles, catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Now suddenly very solemn and somber mood here in the crowd. It's a big swing and miss there, an off-speed pitch from Cowles. Puts himself down in the count 1-2. Tribuker now gets his sign, takes a breath, now winds up the 1-2 pitch. Called, strike 3 on a fastball right at the knees. But Ohio State scores 4 times on a big grand slam from Zach Ratcliffe. And they take the lead here in the top of the 6th. The score after 5.5 innings of play. Ohio State 4, Michigan 2. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. Scoreboard update for you here. The other team that Michigan trails in the Big Ten standings, Nebraska, was able to eke out a win on a walk-off single against Rutgers. A 7-6 final there. So they boost their record up to 12-5-1. Michigan now in danger of giving the game that they just made up on Maryland right back after Maryland also lost earlier on today. Nebraska looking to take that first place spot in the Big Ten. Maryland has played an extra series in the Big Ten than the other top contenders. So the math there is a little screwed up. It'll all sort itself out though by the end of the Big Ten season. For both Michigan and Ohio State have a couple Big Ten series left. Michigan will have an away series against Purdue, and a little bit of a home-and-home series against Michigan State, where they go at Michigan State here at Ray Fisher Stadium and then back away to Michigan State. Ohio State, meanwhile, will have an away series at Iowa and a home series against Indiana to finish out their Big Ten season after the conclusion of this ball game today. And it will be Johnny Slater leading things off here for Michigan in the bottom of the 6th against Seth Kinker, who is still in the ball game. He just fired his 77th pitch. It was a strike to Slater, the count 0-1. Slater 0 for 1 on the ball game, popped out and hit a sacrifice bunt that he almost beat out in the 4th. And this time the 0-1 pitch is called a strike at the belt. A couple off-speed pitches to start Slater off here, thrown by Seth Kinker. Now the 0-2 pitch is lined into right field for a base hit. The right fielder can zone over to cut it off before it gets over into that right field corner, so it holds Slater to a single. And Michigan looking to get back in this ball game. Has the leadoff runner on with nobody out here in the 6th. That'll bring up the shortstop, Michael Berdar. Berdar, a quiet day for him so far, 0 for 2. Hopped out behind the plate in the 1st, struck out back in the 4th. Looking to start a rally here in the 6th. Michigan trailing Ohio State by 2 runs. The score 4-2. After a pickoff throw that chases Slater back over that 1st. The 1st pitch here to Berdar misses low and in for a ball. The count 1-0. Berdar usually takes that 1st pitch, and pitchers like to take advantage. Throwing 1st pitch strikes off against Berdar. He's comfortable working down in the count. This time he works ahead in the count as that pitch misses low and away. He's ahead 2-0. Berdar now down to 312 on the season. Does have himself 3 home runs on the year. See another pickoff throw chases Slater back at 1st. He would be able to connect on one here. That'd be huge. Tie the ball game, get the Ray Fisher Stadium crowd back in this one. So Kinker comes set. The 2-0 pitch. Called a strike at the belt. It could have been a bit high, but not quite to Berdar's liking. It is a strike according to home plate umpire Mike Duffy, though, so count goes to 2-1. Bernard crouched low in that right-handed batter's box. Waits the 2-1 offering. Here it comes. Swung on and fouled back behind the plate. Possibly off of Berdar as he takes a quick walk around the plate there. And the count goes to 2-2. Couldn't quite tell exactly what it fouled off of. It sounded like it hit someone back there. Wasn't sure if it was Berdar, the catcher Barnwell, or Mike Duffy behind the plate. Everyone looks to be okay though as Berdar steps back in for a 2-2 pitch from the right-handed Kinker. This one just misses, or rather, just misses clipping Berdar. He moves his hands in and just out of the way of that one. Michigan maybe hoping he took that one and got on base. Instead, the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch from Kinker as Slater runs. Breaking ball misses inside for ball 4. So Michigan with a couple runners on here to lead off the 6th inning. And now with nobody out, that'll bring up Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer, the biggest power hitting threat in the Wolverine lineup, leads the team with 11 home runs on the season. Also leads the team with 21 extra base hits. And speaking of leading the team, also has 51 RBIs to set the pace for the Wolverines. First pitch he sees here is on the outside corner for a strike, apparently. That one looked to miss well off the outside corner. Mike Duffy has called that at times today, though. So the count 0-1. Lugbauer stands in that left-handed batter's box, an intimidating presence. The 0-1 pitch is swung at, and big swing there. Gets off the end of the bat and fouls it over the stands on the third base side. Out of play, the count 0-2. Lugbauer so far slow day today. He's 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs to second base. Finds himself down in the count here, 0-2 against Kinker in the pitch. This is hit high and foul off to the left side. One's going to get out of play. And the count will remain 0-2. Kinker getting a sign here. Big pitch if he can retire Lugbauer. Would go a long way towards getting Ohio State out of the inning, not allowing any runs. First and second, nobody out. After Kinker steps off, now gets back on, gets his sign. The 0-2 pitch is going to have to wait again as he turns back towards second. Slater doesn't even move. He's not standing very far off the bag, and neither middle infielder made a move towards that bag. Kinker perhaps just delaying here. Waiting to get the pitch that he wants and possibly get Lugbauer to chase here, I would think, on 0-2. Checks Slater a couple times in second, now hops back towards the bag. This time the shortstop Washington was covering, but the throw wasn't made. Some Wolverine fans here calling for a balk. Kinker has had some awkward spins towards second in the ballgame today. But now the 0-2 pitch to Lugbauer. Swung on just off the end of the bat here and back to the screen. As Lugbauer stays alive, fouling that one off. Count remains 0-2. Lugbauer with 11 home runs leading the team. Hasn't hit one in a while. If memory serves me correct, hasn't hit one since back at the beginning of the Indiana series a couple weeks ago, maybe even before that. The best memory on me, but the 0-2 pitch here misses high for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. If I can get you exactly when Lugbauer's last home run was hit. Back to wait though as the 1-2 pitch on the inside corner for strike 3. Lugbauer goes down looking. His first strikeout of the ball game. It's Kinker's third strikeout on the day. Now there's 1 out, runners on first and second. That'll bring up the left fielder Miles Lewis. Doesn't look like he will face Kinker though, as head coach Greg Beals is out of the dugout. There's double barrel action in the Ohio State bullpen. He makes the long walk out to the mound. And as head coach Eric Bakich in the top of this inning for Michigan, hasn't made a signal towards the bullpen just yet. One of the bullpen arms looks ready to come in. Standing near the gate that allows him into the playing field at right field corner. This will be a big at-bat no matter who is facing Miles Lewis here in the 6th. So it looks like Beals is striding back to the dugout, having not made a change. So it will be Seth Kinker facing Miles Lewis for the 3rd time in the ballgame today. Lewis so far 0 for 1, lined out hard back in the 2nd to left field, and was hit by a pitch back in the 5th in which he came around to score. That was his 33rd run scored of the season and the first run scored for Michigan today. Looking to perhaps drive in a run this time in his trip to the plate. He stands in that left-handed batter's box in the first pitch from Kinker. Misses low and in for a ball, 1-0. Lewis, the switch-hitting outfielder from Hudson, Wisconsin. Redshirt sophomore. Stands with his toes near that front line in the batter's box near home plate. The 1-0 pitch misses low and away for a ball, 2-0. For Miles Lewis here, you have to make sure you get a pitch you can drive. Don't help out Seth Kinker, get him out of this jam. As a ground ball in the infield could very well do just that. The 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. Good slider there. Uncorked by Kinker. On count 2-1. Pitch had a lot of movement. Looked like it was going to start out well outside and hooked back on that outside corner. With Mike Duffy giving some generous outside corner calls. Probably had a bit of room to spare. And speaking of generous outside corner calls, the fastball gets one there. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lewis now waiting the 2-2 pitch. He grounds this one towards first. The first baseman, Coolin, makes the play, tosses to second for 1. The relay throw will not be made. It was hit just softly enough that it was too slowly developing. They do cut down Berdar at second, though. Slater moves to third, and with runners at the corners and 2 gone in the inning now, it'll be the designated hitter, Nick Poirier, stepping up to the plate. Poirier on the ball game. 1 for 2, grounded out in the second, singled in the fifth, both on the first pitch of the at-bat. We'll see if that trend continues of swinging at that first pitch. And his third look on the ball game at Seth Kinker. The first pitch Kinker throws to Poirier will be his 96th on the day. Here it comes. Breaking ball, strike 1. Good pitch there. Poirier was not looking first pitch breaking ball on that one. And the count goes to 0-1. Now Kinker pitching very confidently now. The 0-1 pitch lined. Stab made by the first baseman, Coolin. He robs Nick Poirier of extra bases down the right field line. And Ohio State gets out of the inning, not allowing any runs. Michigan gets 2, gets 1 hit, strands 2 runners in the inning, and cannot score. So after 6 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score remains Michigan 2, Ohio State 4. Here on the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. So you can hang a star on that last play made by Bo Coolin out there, as he really just kept Ohio State possibly in the lead. That ball got into the corner. Very well could have seen Miles Lewis speeding around from first base. Would have for sure scored Slater from third. Nonetheless, though, it's a lot of what-ifs. Ohio State owns all the momentum right now, headed into the 7th inning. It will be William Tribuca resuming duties on the mound. He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Ohio State lineup: Jacob Barnwell, Noah West, and Trey Gant. So here comes the catcher, Jacob Barnwell, stepping up to the plate. Barnwell 0 for 1 on the ball game. He flew out back in the second, walked back in the fifth. He'll get his first look of the day here at Tribuca. And the first pitch he sees here from Tribuca bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Winston up out of his crouch to block that one. Bounced well in front of the plate, spiked up high on him. Now the right-handed hitting catcher awaits the 1-0 pitch. So misses high and away for ball 2. That one looked to get away from Tribuca a bit, hopping off that mound to the third base side where he falls off of. The count 2-0. The 3-0 pitch now misses high and away as well. This one a bit closer, but still a ball nonetheless. And that was a 3-0 count here. Tribuker in danger of putting the leadoff runner on in the 7th. Here comes the 3-0 offering. That one misses high end away yet again for ball 4. Tribuker not pleased with himself out there. And with a runner on and nobody out, it'll be the second baseman, Noah West, coming up to the plate. We'll see how long the leash is for Tribuker with 3 Wolverine relievers warming up in the bullpen. Looks to be a lefty and 2 righties, all at various stages of warming up. The most ready looks to be the lefty, who I'm assuming is Tommy Henry out there, it looks like from my vantage point. And the move is made out there to the bullpen. We'll see who comes in. It's William Tribuker's day now. He's done. He is responsible for that runner on first here in the 7th. And he'll leave with a runner on first, nobody out here in the 7th. So running out from the bullpen and taking his place on the mound appears to be the left-hander Tommy Henry. Tribuker gets a hand as he leaves the field. It is indeed the freshman left-hander Tommy Henry. Henry stands out there at 6'3", 190 from Portage, Michigan. One of the most reliable relievers out of the pen for head coach Eric Bakich this year. He's appeared in 15 games thus far. He's 3-1 with 1 save to his name. His ERA on the season, 2.28, and just under 28 innings pitched. He's struck out 34, only walked 10. Opponents hit 222 against him. His one Achilles heel perhaps is his 3 home runs given up, the most by any Wolverine reliever this season. The first batter he'll face is the second baseman Noah West. Not exactly a home run or extra base threat. In limited time this season, he's only had 4 extra base hits, a couple doubles, a triple, and a homer. The best case scenario here for Michigan would be a ball on the ground, immediately erase that runner at first in the form of Barnwell before having to go back up to the top of that Ohio State order that came alive last inning in the 6th, helped string together 4 runs and that grand slam by designated hitter Zach Ratcliffe. Curley stands as the big game-changing play of the day. So now Henry finishes his warm-up pitches, and he is ready to begin action here in the 7th. It is Noah West standing up there, the right-handed hitting second baseman. Freshman against freshman matchup here. As Henry's pickoff throw to first, chases Barnwell back with plenty of time to spare. Barnwell on the season, 5 for 8 on stolen base attempts. They credited him with an attempt stealing. He took off after the pickoff throw got away from Bivens last time. The first pitch here, a breaking ball moving in on West, just fouled off the inside part of the bat and behind the plate. The count 0-1. West so far 0 for 2 on the ball game today with 2 strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch squares on a bunt, lets it go by as it misses away. The pitch got past Harrison Wenson, but Barnwell is already moving back towards the bag. So he did not advance. The count will go to 1-1, and Barnwell will remain on first. West, the 5'10 freshman out of Westerville, Ohio, waits the 1-1 pitch. He squares around again and takes this pitch right over the heart of the plate for strike 2, the count 1-2. Not really sure what West was looking for on that one. It was a fastball, one of the easiest pitches to bunt. It's right down the heart of the plate. Now he's down on the count 1-2, and Lugbauer over at third, who was playing in, now backs way off for this 1-2 offering from Henry. It's swung at and missed on the dirt for strike 3. So Noah West has himself the hat trick. 3 strikeouts on the ball game. Henry records his first from the mound, and now he'll get his shot at the top of the Ohio State order with the speedy center fielder Trey Gant. Gant is 0 for 2 on the ball game, but reached on a walk last inning to lead things off in the 6th. That began the Ohio State rally, ended up getting thrown out at third, so didn't come around to score. But started things off nonetheless, and he squares around a bunt here on the first pitch from Henry. Pulls back and takes one low for a ball, 1-0. Gant now stands up left-handed batter's box. The junior center fielder, as that one is another pickoff throw over to Tommy Henry over to first, is not in time. Barnwell dives back in safely ahead of a tag from Bivens. As Henry now fires another pickoff throw over to first. Once again, Barnwell back with plenty of time to spare. He gets in there standing up. Still awaiting the 1-0 pitch. Now this one is hit high and fouled on the left field line. That one's going to get just over the stands here, out of play. And the count will go to 1-1. Gant swinging away at that one as opposed to bunting like he was on the first pitch of the at-bat. We'll see how the Wolverines decide to play it, though, with one time squaring out, one time swinging out of the center fielder Gant. Lugbauer plays about even with the bag at third. 1-1 pitch is low and away for a ball. Goes to 2-1. Gant, the junior out of Fishers, Indiana. Michigan fans may know that as senior basketball player Zach Irvin, also out of Fishers, Indiana. The pitch to Gant misses low in the dirt, blocked by Harrison Wenson to prevent an advance. But the count goes to 3-1 strike. And all of a sudden, Wolverine pitchers having trouble finding the strike zone and pitching effectively over the last couple innings. Tommy Henry will try to recover here, down 3-1. This one is lined into right field for a base hit off the bat of Gant. Engelman fields on a couple hops, bobbles it a bit. But it was hit hard enough where Barnwell didn't chance going to third. So now there's runners on first and second, one gone in the inning. I'll bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington was 1 for 8 on the series coming in, and is 2 for 3 on the ball game today with a double and a single. Eric Bakich very cognizant of that as he once again makes a long stroll out to the mound and motions to the bullpen for yet another Wolverine reliever to come into the ball game. We'll see who it is in just a moment as Tommy Henry's day is done now. He pitched a third of an inning, gave up a hit, and struck out one. He is responsible for that runner on first base. So it does look to be like the senior right-hander Mac Lozier coming into the game. We saw Lozier in yesterday's ball game. He'll look to get out of the jam. He's normally the pitcher head coach Joey Beckett's trust to get out of jams like this. A trust built up over the 4 years on campus. So far on the season for Mac Lozier, just about as solid as you can get for a setup man. He has 16 appearances and a save on his name. He's 1-0. His ERA a sparkling 0.00. He has pitched 14 2/3 innings, struck out 22, walked 3, only given up 2 hits, along with 0 runs, and opponents hitting a minuscule .045 against the senior right-hander. He will face the red-hot Jalen Washington to start here. Washington, all 3 of his previous at-bats so far coming against the starter, Michael Hendrickson. Get his first look at a Wolverine reliever. It was yesterday he got a look at Mac Lozier, was 0 for 1 with a ground out to short on the very second pitch of the at-bat. It was in yesterday's ball game. Lozier did pitch an inning of work. He walked one, struck out two, and that was all Ohio State could muster against him. A ground ball here would get Michigan out of the inning, most likely. They could make a quick turn up the middle. I'm sure it'd be more than acceptable for the Wolverines if Lozier can pad his strikeout total in this one. So Washington now will step up to the plate for his second look on the weekend against Mac Lozier. The Indianapolis, Indiana native toes the rubber out there, looks in for a sign from Wenson, gets it. Now comes set in the first pitch. An off-speed pitch is in there for strike one against Washington. Lozier a bit awkward as he comes set. Opens up his front shoulder to get the sign, and then when he comes set, very much closes that shoulder to the hitter. Almost comes set twice, never quite stops moving as he brings the glove to the hip, then near the shoulder. The 0-1 pitch grounded towards third. Lemar makes a backhanded play, steps on third for one. The strong throw over to first, double play. There's a collision over there as Bivens and Washington get tripped up, but it is a double play over there, a 5-3 double play. So 2 pitches in, Mac Lozier gets out of the jam. And now it will be up to the Wolverines to try to tack out some runs in the bottom of the 7th, but not before the 7th inning stretch here at Ray Fisher Stadium. A very youthful sounding 7th inning stretch there. The national anthem this evening also had a very youthful sound to it. It was 9-year-old Anna Harold belting out a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner before the ball game today. In front of a packed house here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Some of the fans have made their way out, maybe a bit disenfranchised after the big grand send that put Ohio State ahead. Michigan not ready to go down without a fight, though. They still have 3 at-bats to work with should they need them. And here in the bottom of the 7th, it will be Jonathan Engelman, Jimmy Kerr, and Harrison Wenson, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Michigan lineup, leading things off against a new pitcher for Ohio State. A pitcher out on the mound. If I see correctly, it is indeed the junior right-hander Adam Niemeyer. Niemeyer so far on the season has appeared in 6 games. He started 5 of them, normally the starter for Ohio State when Seth Kinker relieves him. Instead, he comes in relief here. He's 2-3 on the year with a 3.96 ERA, 25 innings pitched. He struck out only 14, but only walked 4 as well. Batters hit .311 against him, and he has given up 13 extra base hits on the year. So the potential for the Wolverines to get back into this if they can hit a few balls hard, find some gaps. They're only down 2 here in the bottom of the 7th, despite the somber mood here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It will be Jonathan Engelman stepping up to the plate. Michigan finally able to get to that Ohio State bullpen here in the 7th. Engelman 0 for 1 on the ball game. He struck out looking back in the 3rd. Also had a sacrifice bunt back in the 5th. A beautifully placed sacrifice bunt at that. This one is lined towards short. And the play on the short hop is Washington. He fires over to first for out number 1. Nice play there by Washington. Ranged over near that 5.5 hole between third and short. Scooped that ball, and the short hop as he rounded around it and fired over with plenty of time to get Engelman. So one pitch, one out here by Niemeyer in the 7th. That'll bring up the sophomore second baseman, Jimmy Kerr. Kerr 0 for 1 on the ball game today, though. I'm now looking at here, and they apparently changed the error earlier that he reached on to a base hit, so he's actually 1 for 1 on the ball game today. He's reached in both of his first 2 at-bats on a walk and RBI single, respectively. The first pitch of the at-bat here is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. The second pitch now here is bounced towards second. The second baseman, West, makes the play. He tosses on the run to retire his counterpart, Kerr. So now 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the 7th. A couple of ground outs that'll bring up the catcher, Harrison Wenson, with 2 gone and nobody on. Wenson so far on the day 0 for 1. Double play grounded into back in the 3rd. And then in the 5th, placed a beautiful squeeze bunt towards first base that drove in a run, his 35th RBI of the season. However, since that RBI by Wenson, the Wolverines have not been able to tack on anymore. They trail 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Wenson here from Niemeyer is inside for a ball as Wenson moves his hands out of the way, and the count goes to 1-0. Working quickly now, Niemeyer, the 1-0 pitch. Wenson thought about swinging, but left that one alone as it was up high for ball 2. Wenson has a lot of power in that bat. Thought he might be able to get around on that high fastball. Opted not to try it. See, 2-0 pitch. Ooh, big swing there. Foul straight back to the screen behind home plate. The count goes to 2-1. Wenson was on that one. Look, he got a pitch he wanted to hit. Just a little bit underneath it. It's back to the screen. Have a 2-1 offering from Niemeyer. Misses outside for a ball. 3-1. Should Wenson reach, it'll go back to the top of the Wolverine order, and Jake Bibbins standing on the on-deck circle right now. The 3-1. On the outside corner for strike 2. Wenson had already tossed his bat aside and was getting ready to take off his shin guard and elbow guard when the call was made. Because he thought that one was off the corner and low. Home plate umpire Mike Duffy thought differently, however. And now we'll get a 3-2 pitch from Niemeyer once Wenson steps back into the box. And here it comes. Swung on and hit high towards center field, left center. The center fielder Gant ranging over and makes the grab with plenty of room. Some excitement off the bat once Wenson put that ball in the air, but didn't carry very far at all. Got it a little too far off the end of the bat. So that is a 1-2-3 inning there from Niemeyer in relief. Through 7 innings of play here at Ray Fisher Stadium, Ohio State holds a 4-2 lead over Michigan on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball on WCBN Sports. Another scoreboard update for you. It was Minnesota downing Penn State by a score of 12-4. Minnesota, the team Michigan is tied with for 3rd in the standings coming into today's game. The Big Ten standings, that is. In order to keep pace there, the Wolverines are going to have to come back in the late innings of this one. But first and foremost, you're going to have to keep Ohio State down at 4 runs if possible. In order to do that, the Wolverines have left in right-handed senior Mac Lozier. Lozier only needed 2 pitches to get out of the jam last inning, inducing a ground ball from Jalen Washington to third base. Here in the 8th inning, he'll face the heart of the Ohio State order, the 3-4-5 hitters Dominic Canzone, Brady Cherry, and Zach Ratcliffe. And for Canzone, the leadoff hitter here, His 12-game hitting streak in jeopardy of being snapped. He's 0 for 3 on the ball game today. Ground out, 2 ground outs and a fielder's choice. You have to imagine he'll be trying to shoot the ball to any gap possible here, try to keep that streak alive. His season high and career high, as he is indeed a freshman for the Buckeyes. Now he's dancing there against Mac Lozier. He squares around on this one, bunts it behind the plate, foul for strike 1. Just trying to get on base any way he can there is Canzone. Canzone did see Mac Lozier yesterday. He worked a 6-pitch walk against him. Down the count 0-1 now. The pitch. Foul straight back to the screen behind home plate. Count now 0-2. Lozier working with a clean slate this inning now. Perhaps a little more comfortable. It's where he normally comes in with here in the 8th. And this one misses just off the plate away for ball 1. Ump umpire Mike Duffy has been generous with that outside corner today. Not on that pitch, though. Just 1-2 pitches hit down the line. Just foul at first base. From my vantage point, it looked fair, but admittedly, the bit of a glare coming off the window here may have blocked the vision just a bit. First base umpire David Ewell was right on top of that call. So Canzone almost extending the hitting streak. Instead has to go back up to the plate. Still down 1-2 in the count against Lozier. Lozier comes set, the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Lozier's first strikeout of the game, and Canzone's hitting streak in serious jeopardy now. With 1 out here in the 8th, it'll be the third baseman Brady Cherry stepping up to the plate. Cherry 1 for 3 on the ball game. All 3 of those at bats coming against Michael Hendrickson. Struck out twice, singled back in the 6th, the last batter Hendrickson would face. The ball bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Nice backhand pick made there by Wenson. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Count 1-1. And Lozier's remarkable with keeping the breaking ball and the fastball to the exact same arm slot. See hitters looking funky, trying to put up swings or take pitches. That was a bit of a funky looking swing there as Cherry's feet were moving a bit on that one as he swung and missed at a ball moving down. And the count now 1-2. Cherry trying to avoid the hat trick for the 3rd straight day. He watches a breaking ball miss just off the edge on the outside for ball number 2. Count 2-2. Lozier now set, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Cherry with his 3rd straight hat trick. Lozier struck out 2 in a row here in the 8th. That will bring up the designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe, in a much more favorable situation for Michigan than he came up last time. It was him back in the 6th inning that hit the big grand slam off of reliever William Tribuker, the first batter he faced. Get his try at Mac Lozier now as Lozier spots one on the outside corner for strike 1. Nice fastball there. Overall, Ratcliffe is 2 for 3 on the ball game. He also has a single back in the 2nd. The 0-1 pitch to him this time. Big swing and a miss there as the back foot came out. He was trying to hit his 2nd straight home run. And as many at-bats. Came up empty, though, on a pitch that Lozier really pulled the string and had it moving right down out of the strike zone below the knees, and the count goes to 0-2. Lozier now quick pitches, the 0-2 pitch just off the corner away, maybe a bit high for ball 1 on the at-bat. The Wolverine infielders already jogging off. Bivens and Kerr at the right side started to make their way toward the dugout. And Lozier was walking off the mound as well. He'll try again here with 1-2 pitch to finish the inning. He does, swinging for strike 3. Lozier strikes out the side in order here in the 8th. And now he turns it over to the Michigan Bats. Running out of chances here. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The score, Ohio State 4, Michigan 2 on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. After a quick 7th inning, only 9 pitches, Adam Niemeyer is back out there to begin the 8th. I'd imagine he will be going the distance. Don't see much action in the Ohio State bullpen. A couple of players maybe messing around, tossing a ball around, but no serious warming up going. See how that changes if Wolverines can get Niemeyer in any bit of trouble. They have the top of the Michigan order coming up here in the 8th. It'll be Jake Bivens, Johnny Slater, and Michael Berdar slated to start things here in the bottom of the 8th. Again, it's getting late here for Michigan if they want to complete the sweep over their Big Ten rivals from just down south, Ohio State, and try to keep pace in the Big Ten standings. Maryland, currently sitting in first, has lost on the ball game today. But the second place team, Nebraska, has got themselves a win, as well as the team Michigan is tied for third with Minnesota, also coming home with a victory earlier today. It'll be Jake Bivens starting things off here in the 8th. He's currently 1 for 2 on the ball game. On base with a hit by pitch and a single. First pitch of the day he sees from Niemeyer is a breaking ball that misses low and in for a ball, 1-0. Bivens with that 1 for 2 day average up to 272. On base percentage up to 439 as he lines one down the left field line. It's hooking, and that's going to get foul into the Michigan bullpen. The count will go to 1-1. Bivens look to be thinking other way there. On the pitch on the outside corner, try to poke it down that left field line, get on base here to start things. Instead, it's a 1-1 count, and that pitch is hit high in the air towards that left side. The left fielder Murray camping underneath it right on the track for out number 1. That pitch, that ball really carried there towards the end. Looked to be pretty harmless off the bat. It is a shorter wall there in left, albeit very high with that tall brick wall extension. So there is 1 out here in the 8th. Johnny Slater stepping up to the dish. He's 1 for 2 on the day as well. Singled back in the 6th and was stranded at third. Also has himself a sacrifice bunt. First pitch he sees from Niemeyer here. Misses low for a ball. The count 1-0. Niemeyer, despite falling behind in some counts, has been effective today as he comes back immediately with a strike on the outside corner. The count 1-1. If you're Ohio State against these lefty hitters, seems like you should really be attacking that outside corner. Head coach or home plate umpire Mike Duffy's given it all day long as that one misses high for a ball. Count goes 2-1. Got to be a bit conflicted at the very least. Your strategy coming in was attack the Wolverine lefties on the inside part of the plate, which they do right there as the pitch comes across on the inside corner at the knees against Slater. The count goes to 2-2. At the same time, like I said, that outside corner has been generous today. Really can't go wrong with how you want to attack them, as that one was headed for the outside corner, but Slater fouled it out of play over the third base stand, so stay alive in the count at 2-2. And now Niemeyer, the 2-2 pitch here, just misses clipping Slater inside. He had to limbo out of the way of that one. And the count has run full, 3-2. At this point, Michigan really needs base runners. The tying run still on the on-deck circle. The 3-2 pitch just fouled off by Slater, in and out of the glove of the catcher Barnwell, it looked like. So just barely able to stay alive And the count remains 3-2. Niemeyer now the eighth pitch of the at-bat. Swung on and once again fouled off just barely by Slater and off of Barnwell behind the plate. Slater stays alive once again. The count still full at 3-2. Slater chasing maybe a pitch a bit inside there, but had to protect on 3-2, and he does hit that one off near the left side. The third baseman, Cherry, ranging over near the Michigan dugout, cannot make the grab as it falls into the Michigan dugout and then bounces into the stands. So once again, Slater stays alive. The count still 3-2. Already a 9-pitch at bat from Slater. He takes his time now, stepping into that left-handed batter's box, awaiting yet another 3-2 offering from Niemeyer. And this one is once again fouled just barely off by Slater, and again ticks off the glove of Barnwell and back to the screen. So another 3-2 pitch will be upcoming. Going to be pitch number 11 of the at-bat. Niemeyer gets his sign now, winds up, and here it comes. This one is lined once again. Foul, this time down the right field line. The best contact Slater's had all at bat. He's been fouling pitch off after pitch off after pitch off. That one down the right field line and into the pavilion area where several kids were given chase. And we're still stuck here at 3-2. And now finally a swing and a miss from Slater on a pitch moving high and away for strike 3. So an extremely great at-bat there by Slater. 12 pitches in all. But it ends with a strikeout as Niemeyer wins the battle. And now there will be 2 gone here in the 8th inning. The Wolverines shortstop Michael Berdar stepping up to the plate. First pitch to Berdar is in there for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. Now working quickly, Niemeyer the 0-1. This one misses high, a bit away there. Count goes to 1-1. Berdar taps the plate, stands in there, crouched in that batter's box for the 1-1 pitch. It's fouled back over the press box here and out of play. Counts now 1-2. That one might have actually stayed in play there, just barely. Looks like it did. So someone's getting a souvenir there. And Berdar's down on the count 1-2. The pitch now off the outside corner for ball number 2. A bit low there. Didn't miss by much, but neither Niemeyer, the catcher, Barnwell, or Berdar looked like they thought it was a strike. Now the 2-2 pitch just barely fouled off at the end of the bat there from Berdar and back behind the plate. The count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Berdar putting together a 2-strike battle just like Slater did, perhaps. Awaiting another 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Line up the middle and over towards right center. That one's going to get down for a base hit. The center fielder, Gant, speedily chases it down in the gap there to hold Berdar to a single. But at the very least now, Michigan has a run around with 2 gone, and the tying run steps to the plate in the form of the powerful lefty, Drew Lugbauer. We mentioned the extra base hits given up by Adam Niemeyer. Wolverines could sure use an extra base hit here. Should score Berdar from first. Should Lugbauer be able to find a gap, and Lugbauer can add to his team-leading 11 homers. We have ourselves a new ball game headed to the 9th. The first pitch here from Niemeyer to Lugbauer is on the inside corner for a strike 0-1. And Ohio State's been pounding that inside corner all day long against Lugbauer, especially early on in the count. There's not much he can really do with those pitches that are just right there, right on the inside corner. Gonna jam him if he tries to swing. The 0-1 pitch now is lined towards right center field. That one is going to get down in the gap, and the right fielder, Canzone, chases it down. Bernard's on his way to third. Lugbauer scoots into second with a double. And a tying run now in scoring position. With 2 gone in the inning, Miles Lewis now stepping up to the plate. A great swing of the bat there by Lugbauer. He finally got one that he could reach out a bit on and hooked it right into that right center field gap. So right on cue, the extra base hit I just mentioned. Miles Lewis with perhaps the biggest at-bat of the ball game thus far. At the very least, it's the biggest at-bat of the ball game for Michigan. It's now action really ramping up in the Ohio State bullpen. 2 arms throwing at full go. The catcher Barnwell out to talk to Niemeyer. Perhaps stall just a bit before the pitching coach Mike Stafford also makes his way out to the mound. Making a long, slow walk over there, and the Wolverines will take advantage of that to talk over with their runners and their hitter Lewis. The score 4-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Ohio State currently ahead of rival Michigan, who is looking for the sweep. It was Ohio State last season who swept Michigan in the regular season, a 3-0, and then beat them twice in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan looking to return the favor here. If they want to do so, this at-bat is going to be huge. If Miles Lewis can find a gap, Lugbauer should be able to score easily from second. The Ohio State outfield looks like they're playing in now, trying to cut down Lugbauer at home on any sort of single. Miles Lewis, who has struggled a bit so far in this series. 1 for 5 on Friday. 0 for 2 yesterday with a couple walks. And so far, 0 for 2 again today. Was on base with a hit by pitch and a fielder's choice. Cannot get on base with a fielder's choice here, though. There's 2 outs in the inning. The tying run on second, as well as Bernard over there on third. The first pitch on the inside corner for a strike, and that one looked like it missed well inside. It was Lewis moving out of the way of that one. Barnwell really had to reach across to grab that one, but got the call anyway from home plate umpire Mike Duffy. And Lewis down on the count 0-1. On the 0-1 pitch, just fouled off as it jammed Lewis on the inside corner, and now he's down in the count 0-2. Lewis, the switch hitter, still batting lefty. He's facing the righty Niemeyer after the righty Kinker had him in his first 3 at-bats. Pitch outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. That one missed well off the outside corner. They were trying to get Lewis to chase. Barnwell was set up way out there and fielded it about halfway into the right-handed batter's box. So a waste pitch there from Niemeyer. We'll see what he goes with on 1-2. Here it comes. And that one gets past. That one clips Lewis at the plate. There wasn't an initial call by the home plate umpire Mike Duffy. It clipped Bivens, or rather Lewis, on the shoulder. So you say Bivens hit by a pitch. It clipped Lewis on the shoulder and got past the catcher Barnwell. For a second, there was no call on Mike Duffy, and Bernard was sprinting home. He would have been safe. But instead, it's a hit by pitch. And now the bases are loaded here. The go-ahead run now on base for Michigan. And Nick Poirier, the designated hitter, stepping to the plate. There's the Ohio State designated hitter stepping to the plate with the bases loaded back in the 6th, uncorking a grand slam. Michigan trying to return the favor. Poirier stands in there, his first look of the day at Niemeyer. The pitch misses inside as Poirier darts all the way of that one. The count goes to 1-0. Poirier 1 for 3 on the ball game today. A ground out in the 2nd, a single in the 5th, and was robbed of extra bases on a diving stop by the first baseman Coolin back in the 6th. Now the 1-0 pitch. Hit high in the air on the infield. The shortstop, Washington, camping underneath it. He makes the grab for out number 3. So Michigan gets a couple hits in the inning, but they strand the bases loaded. And we will head to the 9th inning with Ohio State still clinging on to a 4-2 lead. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. Michigan not messing around here going into the 9th. It'll be the senior closer, right-hander Jackson Lamb, coming into the ballgame. Lamb pitched yesterday. Got himself in a bit of a trouble after at a non-save situation. Did allow a run, but that runner reached on an error by the first baseman Bivens, so it was unearned. That means Lamb's perfect 0.00 ERA is still intact. He has pitched in 19 ball games this year, has 9 saves. He won't be able to get one here, but he can potentially add to his 2-0 record that he holds if he's able to stop Ohio State and Michigan's able to score a few runs in the bottom of the 9th. For Jackson Lamb, he's pitched 21 innings so far this season. He struck out 18 and walked 6. Opponents hitting just 176 against the senior right-hander. The flags waving around here before the 9th inning. Again, a lot of younger kids here. You have a team right in front of us here in the booth. Flags starting to get unfurled. Some fans also try to make their way out of the ballpark, beat the traffic on the way out. Unfortunately, they won't get to see Jackson Lamb work, though. They'll start off this inning against the first baseman, Bo Coolin. First pitch to Coolin is a breaking ball that misses low. That had a lot of break on it. The count goes to 1-0. After Coolin, and that pitch misses off the outside corner for a ball. It goes to 2-0. After Coolin is Tyler Cowles and Jacob Barnwell on deck and in the hole, respectively. See 2-0 to Coolin. Is fouled off of home plate umpire Mike Duffy, it looked like. He winced for a second, says he's fine, though. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Jackson Lamb comes set, the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high fastball there. The count goes to 2-2. Lamb, unorthodox set position. He stands straight up when he gets that sign. Now holds the glove in hand well out in front of him. And the 2-2 pitch bounced in there for a ball, 3-2. You can always notice the uptick in velocity when Jackson Lamb comes into the game. He fires that ball in there with his 6'6", 205 frame. The 3-2 pitch. Swing on and missed for strike 3. That's 4 straight batters struck out by Michigan pitching. The first one of the ball game here for Jackson Lamb. And now with 1 gone and nobody on, it'll be Tyler Cowles stepping up to the plate. And it's safe to say Tyler Cowles had a rough day, and that is why he actually will not be hitting here. It'll be number 17, Shea Murray, getting the pinch hit opportunity. He takes the first pitch he sees from Jackson Lamb for a strike, 0-1. The second pitch is swung on and missed there as the back foot came flying out on a breaking ball from Jackson Lamb. The count now 0-2. Murray now waits an 0-2 from Lamb. Call, strike 3 on the outside corner. 3 straight strikes on Shea Murray. He sets them down. And now 5 straight Ohio State batters have struck out. and 2 straight here against Jackson Lamb in the 9th. That'll bring up the catcher, Jacob Barnwell, for his 4th plate appearance of the ballgame. Barnwell 0 for 1 on the ballgame with 2 walks. On base percentage up to .369 for him. The first pitch he sees from Lamb is fouled to the screen over the Ohio State dugout. And the count's going to go to 0-1. So Ohio State making the move there with Tyler Cowles having struck out 3 times, and his pinch hitting replacement Murray struck out as well. As this pitch by Jackson Lamb misses outside. He loses his hat midway through the pitch. Unfurling the longer hair he has hidden underneath. The mustache senior closer for Michigan drops a breaking ball. It looked like it went right down the middle, but apparently missed high according to home plate umpire Mike Duffy. And the count's going to go to 2-1. Now a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and bounced towards Ledbauer. He backhands, bobbles, now throws over to first. Safe at first is Barnwell. I'd imagine that one's going to be scored as an error over there as Ledbauer bounced off the heel of his glove when he tried to backhand the chopper. Eventually corralled it with his bare hand against his chest and fired over to first, but it wasn't in time. And so far, that one indeed ruled a base hit. So Barnwell gets his first hit of the ball game. He's on first with 2 gone in the inning. Well, second baseman Noah West. First pitch to West. Swung on and missed for strike 1. West so far today already has a hat trick. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. And now he has the task of facing Jackson Lamb. The 0-1 misses low and away for a ball. Count goes to 1-1. Right now at the plate, you have the 5'10 freshman Noah West against the 6'6 senior Jackson Lamb. Another pitch from Lamb misses low and away for a ball. The count goes to 2-1. It's quite a difference in this batter-pitcher matchup here. The 2-1. Big swing and a miss there from West at a high fastball. And the count goes to 2-2. Lamb trying to get out of the inning here. Turn it over to the Wolverine offense. He's going to try to score a couple of runs to keep this thing going in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-2 pitch just fouled off the end of the bat there by West and back to the screen. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So it looks like one of the young Wolverine fans has gathered all the flags they gave out from these teammates and friends and families and furled them in both hands. He cheers on Jackson Lamb here. The 2-2 pitch hit high and fouled on the right field line. Bivens, Engelman giving chase. They're not going to have room, though, as that one is onto the pavilion. And several Wolverine fans give chase down there, that right field line. Count's going to remain 2-2 on the freshman Noah West. He's putting up a good battle here against the lights-out Jackson Lamb. See what Lamb goes with here on the 2-2. The breaking ball. It looked like West kept his hands back just enough there to get a piece of it. Fouled it off of the mask of Wenson and back to the screen. So the count's going to remain 2-2. Nice battle so far between Lamb and West. The 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Lamb is set, and it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. West goes down for the 4th time today swinging. Ohio State gets a single there in the top of the 9th, but Jackson Lamb strikes out the side. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last call for Michigan. They trail Ohio State by a score of 4-2. You're at WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. Austin Falco, thank you for listening today or all weekend long if you just tuned in. Been a great series so far between a couple of rivals. Michigan taking the first 2 games in relatively exciting fashion. The score is 6-0 and 5-2. Oliver Jaski putting together a complete game shutout, the first of his career, back on Friday. Alec Renard pitching well yesterday to lead the Wolverines to a victory. And today, again, it was starting pitching the story. Seth Kinker kept the Wolverines down, only scored 2 runs in 6 innings of work. And so far, that has helped keep Ohio State out in front thanks to a big grand slam by their designated hitter, Zach Ratcliffe, back in the 6th. For Michigan here in the 9th, at the very least trying to extend this ball game, is slated to be Jonathan Engelman, Jimmy Kerr, and Harrison Wenson. But Christian Bullock is out of the dugout. He looks like he might lead off here for Engelman in the 9th. It does indeed look that way as head coach Eric Baggage puts his arm around Bullock and sends him off towards home plate. Michigan trying to get the left-handed hitting Bullock against the right-handed pitching Niemeyer. Bullock so far on the year only has 10 at-bats. He is 1 for 10. Has scored 4 runs though as he comes in as a pinch hitter and has been able to get on base with a walk. Does have 2 RBIs with his 1 hit though. Michigan needs him to get on base here to begin the 9th. First pitch he sees from Niemeyer's outside for a ball, 1-0. Niemeyer winds up the 1-0 pitch. That's a strike in there, right over the heart of the plate. The count goes to 1-1. Niemeyer has good movement on what appears to be his 2-seam fastball running arm side. It's really fooled the Wolverines for most of his time while he's been in. That 1-1 is hit high in the air towards center. The center fielder Gant sprinting in. He'll call off both middle infielders and make the grab on the run. Showing off the speed there on one that Bullock just got off the end of the bat. That'll be out number 1 here in the 9th inning. On the second baseman, Jimmy Kerr stepping up to the plate with nobody on. The story here for Michigan so far is still the same as it was before. Just get on base. Tying run still on the on-deck circle. So Jimmy Kerr has gotten on base twice already today. Stands in there, takes the first pitch low for a ball. Count 1-0. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the 5th. He also walked back in the 3rd inning as a ground out in his only plate appearance against Niemeyer. This pitch he takes low for a ball 2 and is in the driver's seat in this one, 2-0 the count. The 2-0 offering, this is high and away for ball 3. I highly doubt Kerr gets the green light here. And Michigan needing base runners as desperately as they do. A 3-0 to Kerr. He does not get the green light as that one is grooved right down the middle for strike number 1. Kerr, a .313 hitter now after his 1 for 2 day. .377 on base percentage, and the 3-1 pitch. Thought it missed high for ball 4, but apparently it's at the belt, according to Mike Duffy. Kerr was ready to walk over to first base, but doesn't get the opportunity as he's now in a full count, 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch from Niemeyer. That one called strike 3 on the low inside corner. Kerr tossed his bat towards the dugout like he was walking down to first base with ball 4. But Niemeyer got the call from home plate umpire Mike Duffy. And there are now 2 outs, nobody on here in the 9th. And Harrison Wenson is Michigan's last hope at keeping this one going. Wenson 0 for 2 on the day today. Double play in the 3rd. Fly out in the 7th, and also has a sacrifice bunt, a squeeze bunt in there in the 5th. This one he lines foul down the left field line, a hard hit ball that makes its way into the Wolverine bullpen. He was out in front of that offering from Niemeyer and is down in the count 0-1. Wenson now stands in there, the 0-1 pitch from Niemeyer. Breaking ball. Just misses. Looked at the exact same spot that pitch to Kerr was. But the call was not given, so the count goes to 1-1. Niemeyer working quickly, the 1-1 pitch. Swung on another hard hit ball down the line, but foul off the bat of Harrison Wenson. And now he's down in the count 1-2. Michigan down to their final strike here in the bottom of the ninth. Michigan fans have been making noise all inning long. The Ohio State fans now clapping a bit on their side. And Niemeyer swings for the 1-2 pitch. This one misses low and away for a ball. Counts 2-2 now. Wenson back foot at the very back of the batter's box near the catcher, Barnwell. And another now a 2-2 offering from Niemeyer. Off the plate away for ball 3. Niemeyer thought he had strike 3. He was starting to celebrate out there on the mound. Mike Duffy didn't grant him that one. So the count is run full on the senior catcher for Michigan, Harrison Wenson. The payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled over the press box, out of play. So we'll do it again here on 3-2. Wenson takes a second, takes a breath before stepping into the box. Niemeyer takes a breath before stepping on the mound. They both get ready for this 3-2 offering. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Ohio State salvages the weekend series, avoid being swept here in Ann Arbor. They win this one by a score of 4-2. And really a great performance on the mound by their starting pitcher Seth Kinker and the reliever Adam Niemeyer, who came in and really shut the door on the Wolverines despite getting into a jam in the 8th. It's really the story of the game there was Michigan not being able to quite solve Ohio State pitching. The other story of the game, of course, was after starter Michael Hendrickson got in a jam in the 6th. William Tribuker came in and Zach Ratcliffe greeted him with a huge grand slam. That was the difference in the ball game. And that is just the way it's going to go here in Ann Arbor. Michigan fans leaving a bit disappointed. Your final line score in Michigan, only 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Ohio State scored their 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. It was Seth Kinker getting the win, moving to 3-0. Michael Henderson taking the loss. His his second loss of the season, moves to 5-2. And Adam Niemeyer with the save, his first of the year. So that'll do it here from Ray Fisher Stadium. The next Michigan baseball game you can find on WCBN Sports will be on Tuesday against Central Michigan. First pitch at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be our own Leo Blavin on the call there. Make sure to tune in for that one, as Michigan does drop this one by a score of 4-2. I'm Austin Falco, thanking you for listening today and all weekend long here on WCBN Sports. For all of us at WCBN Sports, we wish you a good night, and as always, a Go Blue.